Prophet Marshall Occurrence. Okay, so this video is going to be about us not letting lame secret societies think they're at war with us because war is in vogue. We're not letting lame secret societies think they're at war with us because war is now in vogue, meaning it's trending. You know, you got these wars in Iran, and you got wars with Russia and Ukraine, and now war is taking over the world, like we said before. War is now taking over the world. And then, so that's the most popular thing going on. And with that being said, and people passionate about this and passionate about this side and that side, and people being passionate about either side, you know, it's almost like a subculture in itself that is when you got this much war going on, and where people are passionate about this side of the war and that side of the war, and through that comes people that want to act like they're more passionate than they were before about conflicts. So it brings an overzealous person that bursts out of this culture to be overzealous against us, because you're inspired by these wars that go on. But no matter what the case may be in their position, we're not going to let people act like it's us and them. And that includes the African American community, the black community, as far as I go. We're not going to give them the privilege of acting like it's me and them, because they had their chance to play it like that, and they handed us over to white Americans and all these other people, and I beat all of them. But then once I got reputation, now they want to swing it back around and act like they're going to take that reputation with a little weak fight. It's not going to work like that, because the first thing people are going to consider is that basically you just did whatever. You left me for dead. You gave me over to the Americans, right? And basically I went through everything with the Americans that they had to offer, and I won. So now that I have reputation, I am more selective. I get to choose who I want to fight. And I don't feel like fighting you anymore. And the reason why is because I don't feel like you're worthy to fight me. I feel like you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. Reputation, limelight, clout chasing. See, I'm young enough to know about clout chasing, which people a little older than me might not understand the dynamic of clout chasing in this community. People doing stuff for fame, people doing stuff for a name, you know what I'm saying? The internet birthed that too. You know, just to do this for likes and to do this for, you know what I'm saying, shares and likes. Let's talk about the shares too, doing this for shares and likes. You know, you got a whole nother generation of clout chasers, not just from the neighborhood, from the internet community. You know, and so with that being said, people would try to oppose us to be famous, to clout chase. See, that's what comes with it. Once you get reputation, now people want to fight you to be famous. You know, but I'm too smart to feed into it. So now I'm selective about who I fight these days. I don't fight secret societies anymore. Excuse me. I fight we fight by spiritual warfare means we fight the American community, the United States. Because they opposed God's kingdom. Not just because they opposed me. I watched you oppose a lot of people that was Christians. And I can tell because I look on YouTube and that's all they complaining about. So how can they all be right on with complaining about the same type of attack? They all complaining about the same type of attack. So how can they be wrong? So that's how we figure out it's a nationwide war. You could even say international. And ultimately it's a war between good and evil. And in this war between good and evil, me personally, I don't get anything out of fighting black people or secret societies. I don't get none out of it. Because my idea is this, like I said in my other video, black people still didn't fight racist white Americans. When? Not the present generations. Not my generation. The past, but not now. Now that they got these white militias. See, back in the day, they didn't have no militias. They got them white militias now. Which means, you know, they're not scared of you. And they don't care if you're a thug or a gangster. Because they got weapons. They don't care if you gangster. Because they got assault rifles ready to go. So then, low key, I'm thinking you realize that and you don't want no smoke with them. You see how I can see it that way? Because they jump on everybody else except them. Say something about black people, they'll jump on everybody else. But then with these white militias, you don't want no smoke and no problems. And you see, so what I call it, like, basically, you're like the average American. The average American, no matter what color they are, I've noticed one thing they have in common. They will rarely fight their greatest enemy, whoever they are. It's just an American thing. I don't know how else I can tell you how it happens. They won't fight their greatest enemy. And black people are no exception. They won't fight racist white militias. And they want all the smoke. They be talking reckless all online. Definitely. If you think they just against the Jews, no, they're against black people too. All you gotta do is go online and you see all the stuff. They talking reckless. They got a whole culture talking reckless against black people. But my thing is this: you never had a problem with them, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to play with the prophet. You know what I'm saying? Because I noticed these black folks, they'll fight broke people. Everybody you kill was broke. These black dudes talking about catching bodies. Yeah, but you killed broke people. The people you killed was broke. Which means there was no threat. It was no threat. You killed broke people. We don't respect that, no. I told you it's a difference between a grown man being real and a young boy being real. A grown man being real, I don't respect you killing no broke person. That's easy. Killing some pathetic broke person. Anybody can do that. And no matter what color they are, that's like killing an animal. An animal is almost helpless if you got a gun. That's like killing an animal. Anybody can do that. But kill somebody that's a threat. You can't do that, can you? And black people, you won't kill nobody that's a threat. You'll try to negotiate with people that's a threat. That's 7 out. Most black people gonna try to negotiate with people that's a threat. White America will not face their greatest enemies either. You know who your greatest enemy is? One of my greatest allies, Russia. Iran is not your greatest enemy, Russia is. Russia is your greatest threat. You ain't gonna try in your lifetime, you ain't gonna ever try Russia like you try everybody else. You ain't gonna never try China like you try everybody else. So see, I'm smart enough to know, even though the terrorist element applies to Iran, you still have not challenged your greatest enemy, which is Russia and China. Russia and China is absolutely your greatest enemy as far as money, economy, weapons, sophistication. In fact, Russia has the most nuclear bombs. America don't have the most nuclear bombs. Go look it up. Russia has the greatest amount of nuclear arms. Russia the one got it. Russia the one got it. The biggest army in the world is India. India has the biggest army. Most people would think China, but it's India. India has the most dense populated army or military in the whole world. It's India. Okay. So yeah. Now us as the kingdom of God, we are the most powerful. And low key, I think America think, because of who you think you are militarily, specifically, you thought you could play with God's kingdom. I'm sorry, buddy. All these people that you put together against me in witchcraft, and I know that the Americans are behind it. So we don't fight you no more. We don't fight this force that they try to put in front of us. We gonna go after America. And how we gonna do it is by spiritual means. God is not gonna be with you. The only thing Trump was wrong about, well, he might have been wrong about some other things too. But the thing he definitely was wrong about is that America, God is not gonna be with America, buddy. There is not Team Jesus 1 and Team Jesus 2. I keep telling y'all that. It's not Team Jesus 1 and Team Jesus 2, bro. So, you have to determine, this is what they would do back in the day. They would determine by God's law who is right, what party is right and what party is wrong. And we would know from that alone, not by race, not by gender, not by sexual orientation, not by anything. Because you may have heard in my past and you think God is with you because you heard I was homosexual. So you still think, you think based on that, oh, God ain't with it, God is with y'all. Bro, let me tell you something. Bro. When the last time you seen me with a man? I want to see if you're paying attention or if you dinky. When the last time you seen me with a man? 3 months ago? Sure about that? Is that your final answer? You seen me with a man 3 months ago? Well, I've been here for 3 months. Anybody see me with a guy? Anybody see me with a man around here? So since I've been back to Brooklyn, did anybody see me with a man? So I've been in Brooklyn November, December, January, February, 4 months, going on 5 months. Going on 5 months, right? 12 more days will be 5 months, right? Okay. So nobody seen me with a man here. Nobody seen me with a man in Queens. You know how long it's been since I've been with somebody? 2 years. Literally today makes definitely 2 years. You wasn't paying attention. See, if your war was to keep me in homosexuality, it didn't work. You weren't paying attention. You weren't focused. It's now 2 years later, and I say that before God and all my credibility. I have not physically been with no man in over 2 years. And before that, it wasn't even nothing consistent ever. It was nothing consistent. So I was with a woman before that. So while you think everybody is given over to a reprobate mind, I can show you how my mind has been renewed. My interest in women is 100%. My purity is 100%. Because see, you'll go to the extreme and think that because someone has homosexual acts, that they're instantaneously, permanently, better to say permanently, given over to a reprobate mind. Is that permanent? I'm not challenging the word of God, I'm challenging you. When it says someone is given over to a reprobate mind, is that permanent? It couldn't be permanent if somebody repents, right? It's only permanent, I would imagine, or at least the condition of it would be if someone does not repent, which means by lifestyle, go in the opposite direction, because repentance means going in the opposite direction, right? So if you go in the opposite direction with your life and you're dedicated to God and you're fasting, you telling me I still got a reprobate mind? See, you the type of legalistic people that just say stuff from the Bible but stupid. Okay? When the last time I've been with a man? 2 years, technically. Before that, do you know how long it's been since I lived with a man? 5 years. So, do you know the last time I was consistently, this is more important, but I'm thorough enough to address technicalities. But you know how long it's been since I literally been really in the streets with gay people? You know how long that's been? Where I stayed with a man night in, night out, day in, day out. Like a grown man, not a gay boy living home with his mother, but having gay fantasies. Nah. I lived as a grown man out there in them streets, right? So I lived with a gay guy, okay? You know how long ago that's been? Since November 2020 in COVID time. That's 5 years ago, going on 6 years ago. So I haven't been consistent with no man, living with a man day in and day out in 5 years. In 5 years. Did you know that? That's half a decade. So I haven't been consistently living with a man day in and day out, weekly, week after week. I have not lived like that in 5 years. When I got my own apartment after that relationship, 4 or 5 years after, 4 or 5 months after that, about 5 or 6 months after living with this guy, I worked my way through the shelter system, got my own apartment. I lived there for 3 years. I never stayed with a man no longer than 3 days consistently. Like somebody staying with me day in, day out. I didn't even spend a night. I mean, no one really even spent the night that much with me, right? No more than 3 days. For sure. Technically, a guy spent the night with me before. But that was like one guy, right? That was 2021. That was 2021. That was not even consistent. Now you see what I'm saying. If I don't get all this cleaned up, I'm gonna tell you what you'll think. You'll think that I still have desire for men, or I'm doing something with men, and you'll think I'm a mixture of spirituality and homosexuality, and I've been given over to a reprobate mind. If I don't show you my purity, okay? You'll go by rumors, you'll go by whatever people tell you, and I'm sitting here pure. Haven't even been with no man in 2 years. I can say that. That's the technicality of an interaction, right? But the lifestyle is a different issue, where I lived with someone day in and day out. Like I moved in and lived with somebody. I haven't moved in and lived with somebody that was gay for over 5 years, going on 6 years. November would be 6 years. I'm just letting you know. Because if I don't say this, people will sit back and act like you're doing something that you're not doing. You might have some hidden desires that you really don't have. I don't want a man in my life. I just want to make that very clear. And while we're on the subject, I never had desire for young men ever. That was never my genre. When you talk about homosexuality, you have different genres. Some people like older gay guys. Some people like extremely older gay guys. Some people like in-betweens. And some people like younger, like teenager, like early 20 gay guys. I never was into that genre of guys. Now, was they attracted to me, young men, a couple times? But a handful of times, but that was never my genre. I was always the youngest in a relationship with somebody. I was never the older. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just clarifying that. So I don't have these hang-ups or thoughts towards younger people that you might try to act like I do. It's not there, buddy. It's definitely not there. Okay? So understand where we are in the real world, in real life. I have not been with a man in over 2 years. Clean as they come. No physical touch, no groping, nobody touching me. I wouldn't allow nobody to touch me. When I was in San Francisco this past spring, a guy tried to touch me, but he couldn't because I moved, right? I didn't allow that person to touch me. The last person I had sexual intercourse with was a woman. You know how long that's been? You know how long it's been since I've been with a woman? Almost next month will be a year since I had sex. Period. And it's not because I'm crazy. It's because crazy people don't have sex. It's because I really am a righteous man. And I'm back on track. And because I want results in my life, and because I want results in my situation, I'm not going to walk in impurity. Okay? If you really want war to break out against your enemies, you cannot be in impurity. Okay? So that explains why I have abstained from women, men, and women. Next month will be a full year I haven't had sex at all. Now, what would you say? The last person he had sex with was a woman. So his head is back on straight with a woman. In fact, before this last woman, I had a relationship with my second, what I esteem as my second wife, which started from May 2022 to November 2023. So I was with a woman in my apartment for well over a year. Just me and her. And during that relationship, this is after I left the person in 2020, right? I got with a woman in 2022, May 2022, right? Me and her stayed together for over a year. Almost going on 2 years. Okay, so that was a relationship. After that relationship, a little messing around with a guy that was really nothing. Then I went back to a woman. Now, it's not double-mindedness because that's where I left off. See, one thing I don't do is when you don't support me, I could care less about your opinion. You don't support me for me to care about your opinion. I live for God. I don't live for you. Now, if people give you money and people support you, okay, then they deserve to know. Only thing I'm doing this for is to shut down lames. You know what I'm saying? That think I'm living a double life. I'm not living a double life. I don't have any desire for men. Men had desire for me. So if you're simple-minded, you don't know how some people get into gay life. Some men have desire for other men, and some men have desire for the person that is gay. It isn't just, one size fit all. Some people got into it because men were attracted to them all their lives. Men have been attracted to me all my life. Okay? So that's my story. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, I never, even in high school, in the middle school, in the elementary, I didn't have desire for boys. I didn't think about boys in a funny way. When I was in high school, I didn't think about guys in a funny way. So I went through high school, I went through school never thinking about boys at all. And never interacted sexually with guys in school. So you understand, right? So I had all kind of girlfriends in school and all that going on, just like a normal boy. I never had any gay boyfriends in school. Okay? I had friends. That's the true text. I had friends that were guys, but there was never no sexual tension between me and them. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know, because you might assume the extreme. Like I was in school like this. I was like this. Nah, I wouldn't. No. Nothing. Nothing at all. Not even a thought process of that. And so, there you have it. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was. You know what I'm saying? Perfect example is one of my best friends, he wanted me to introduce him, he wanted to introduce me to his sister, right? And me and her wind up talking to each other, you know what I'm saying, messing around sexually. She was older than me, she was older than both of us. But he just wanted me to meet his sister. And but he admired my looks, but he was not gay. He was like, I've never met a guy that had brown eyes. His complexion matches eyes. So my complexion is very close to my eyes. So he pointed that out. He wanted me to meet his sister. But we wound up working together, and that's how it happened naturally. Me and her worked at the same job, and so we hooked up like that, you know. So like I said, from elementary to high school, I never had any gay boyfriends, never had any gay desire. I didn't get assumed to be gay. Nobody thought I was gay. I never went through any gay bullying. Nobody thought that about me. Yeah, I didn't go through any of that at all. At all. So, so there you have it, man. I just want people to know so you can see me clearly, you know. So the first time somebody came on to me, I was drunk. That's the first time it happened for me. I was drunk and somebody paid me. This dude paid me. And that happened here in New York City. Yep. It happened here in New York City. And I was drunk like on 2/5 of vodka. That's a lot of vodka. And it's only two people. And me and him are drinking like 2/5 of vodka. So it's like, and at that time, I wasn't really no heavyweight with drinking. I mean, I drank, but not like sitting down like I can in these days. I wasn't like that, you know what I'm saying? So I was pretty saucy, and he took advantage of that. So, you know, I could have got him arrested. You know, so that's basically how it happened. Will I say I got raped? No, I didn't get raped. But it was the way he did it when I was drunk, right? Just right. And that's how it happened. I ain't show him no signs. I ain't talk about nothing. I talked about women. I know I did. So that's how it happened for me the first time. And before I could respond, he gave me some money. Because he knew I wasn't gay. And this same man that started that with me, that same man, the first guy, he said, "You're not gay." This is what he told me. I know I wasn't gay. But imagine the first guy you was with tell you you're not gay. See, that's my story. See, you wouldn't know that. So, let's review that again. The first guy that I was with as a man that made a move on me sexually, he told me, "You're not gay." This was a dude that was a military guy. He was older than me. That's just always how it's been for me, for the most part. And he said, "You're not gay." So imagine the first guy you was with tell you you're not gay. That's for the gay community. It's one thing for you to assume or whatever and base it off of whatever happened. But as far as what happened, the first guy that it happened with, he says you're not gay. Imagine that. Now, did the first person you was with say you wasn't gay? Okay then. That's why I try to tell people, I know I'm not gay. You know, I know I don't have that psychology. See, gay is a psychology, man. That's all it really is. People can have a lot of experiences and not have the psychology. And that's the higher level of understanding this. You can have many experiences but not have the psychology. You can have lesbian experiences, but you don't have the psychology of a lesbian. But are you going to be one-track minded to say a woman can't have lesbian experiences and not have the psychology of a lesbian? Of course, she can have it. That's free will to try to experiment. See, a lot of time people experiment, but they don't have the psychology of a lesbian or a gay person. And if you're one-track minded and you're in school, like you're retarded, you'll say stuff like once gay is always gay, right? Not considering that people can use their free will to experiment sexually. You got different personalities. You got different people. And some people might experiment sexually, but not have the gay psychology. And they could just walk away from that saying, "Well, I tried it out. I ain't like it." You know what I'm saying? No harmful feelings or nothing like that. But it's not what I like. I don't really like it. If I had to wake up to somebody, this is how you know you're not gay. If you had to wake up to a man or a woman, which one would you choose? The whole psychology, not just the pleasure part. Because you could really like being gay, sexually, as far as the pleasure. But as far as who you wake up to every day, the whole thing, who you interact with, not because you're ashamed or whatever. Let's put all that aside. Let's not even think about it. Let's think about who would you like to look at and be with every single day in, day out, day in, day out. If you're a straight man, you're going to think about a woman. You want a woman in your life every day. Now, if you got turned out, you might, in your pleasure system, you might enjoy being with a guy. And that can happen without you having the psychology. See, I don't have the psychology. I don't check out guys when I go outside. it could be a guy that's very attractive next to me, and it don't register like that for me. If he's extremely attractive, everybody will realize it. Where, I mean, even if you're straight, you're gonna say, well, that's a good looking guy. But you ain't gonna, ain't nothing gonna go through you if you don't have the psychology. But if it's an attractive looking person, you gonna notice that. But are you lusting after the person? No. Are you thinking about you want to have sex with that person? No. You just acknowledge their beauty or their attractiveness, if you will. But even with that being said, I usually wouldn't even go that far. You got to be strikingly handsome for me to think you're a handsome person. You got, and that's not saying it in a gay way. If somebody's strikingly handsome, you'll probably say, well, that's a good looking guy, man. He could be a model, something like that. That dude could be a model. That's not gay. If you think, oh, okay, that guy's strikingly handsome, he could be a model or something. That's not gay, right? Because beauty has its own dynamic, if you will, where you can express it beyond age, sexuality, or even you can think other children are beautiful, but it's non-sexual. So you can also think a man is beautiful in his non-sexual orientation. It's just seeing beauty for what it is, right? So you could see a beautiful child and you can say, oh, that's a beautiful child, but you ain't thinking nothing lustful, right? Right. You ain't walking away thinking nothing lustful. So beauty, acknowledging beauty can be platonic and it can be without sexual orientation. See what I'm saying? Okay, so for me, I don't have the psychology of a gay guy. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm telling you how I'm wired. I like women. Right? I like different, I can say, like most guys, I like different types of women. Even. So, do you have a certain type? I can admire the beauty of different types of women. It's just who I fall in love with. Who am I compatible with besides how they look on the outside? Because if I had to choose based on looks, I mean, there's a lot of different types of beautiful women. You got some tall women, thick women, thick and voluptuous. That looks good. See, in the Bible times, you had some people like Solomon. He had a whole bunch of wives. It was a sin. And my point is, he probably thought like most men, man, she look good. She look good. I mean, who do I choose? I want all these women. But now, I mean, if you're not a king, obviously you couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't have all these women and take care of them. The first thing you got to be able to do is take care of them. You couldn't even afford to have 5 women. How? You got 5 mouths to feed. And keep in mind, they going to have children. They might have children too. That part. You couldn't afford to have 5 women as your wives because that's 5 children at minimum. You double that, that's 10. Let's just say one of them have 3 or 2 of them have 3 or 4 children. You coming out with 10 children. Or better. No way. No way, no way, buddy. No way. No. At best, I probably would want like 5 kids. That's probably all I would want. I would want 6, 7, 8 kids. But then again, I don't know. If my life was different, where I could afford that, really, I mean, maybe, I don't know. But I wouldn't go no further than 5 kids, probably. At best. I think that's about right. About 5 kids, that's as far as I go. My dad had 4 kids, so see, that's close. You know, that's as far as I would go, about 5 kids at best. But you know, I'm not gonna lie. You know, if I could play that king position where I had a whole bunch of women, I mean, because there's so many different beautiful women, man. Not even lust, it's just the attraction. The thing, like, just so many different types of beautiful women, man. How can you just choose? One is the thought of a transparent man. And Solomon had a lot of women. Was he in sin? No. Where he got in sin was when he started following the gods of his wives. That's when if I'm not mistaken, that was Solomon. If I'm not mistaken, he followed the gods of his wives, all the different wives. He had all different types of women. It's so much so that they were obviously out of his jurisdiction geographically, to where because they had different religions. So this was women way spread out from different places, and I conclude that is based on their religions. Most people in a certain region, they probably gonna have the same religion, most likely, because the government gonna jurisdict. You know what I mean? What religion is the religion of the land? You know what is allowed, basically, especially in the ancient times. So he had women with different religions. So that means he had all different types of races of women, and that's where he got in trouble with the idolatry. See, these servants of God go through real stuff. Solomon was doing stuff for other gods and everything because these beautiful women he chose. You know, he looked at, he wanted to know they God. That's how bad they must have been good looking. I'm just saying, that's the truth. They must have been very attractive because he was just seduced into doing things with their gods and everything. And I think it's a passage, and I'm paraphrasing, that basically said that Solomon didn't live as his father like David. He didn't live thorough like David, just close to God. One God. You know what I'm saying? He did some things differently when it came to serving God. You know, he didn't serve God wholeheartedly, like with just one God, because of his wives and all of that. But see, God had mercy. You know what I'm saying? This is why, my relationship with God, man, I don't let nobody define it or play with it. Because see, in a mature way, because when I go to the Bible as a real man, I'm a man, when I go to the Bible as a man, I see all the mistakes these men made, including women and sex, right? Now imagine me letting somebody be legalistic and just hold me to the things I've done. You know what I'm saying? And you look at David killed a man for a woman. If I did something like that in my society, they would think I'm a madman. Besides sex, they'll think you're just crazy. You killed a man for his woman. That's what David did. And God was still with him. Now see, if I do the same thing, you telling me God ain't gonna be with me, but he was with David. Now you see how corny people are, bro. You know what I'm saying? Servants of God gonna make mistakes. Servants of God gonna do a lot of things. And if you're the type of person to put them say they're a hypocrite, you don't have an understanding of humanity, where humanity is gonna do what humans do. Humans gonna be flawed, buddy. Guarantee you that. See, as I grew as a man, I would rarely call somebody a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand the difference between hypocrisy and human nature, where you're a flawed human being. If you look at it technically, if you want to base it on technicalities, anytime you make a mistake, you're a hypocrite. So even if you're married to a woman and when you broke a promise to her, that if we base it on technicality like you do with other people, then we could say you're a hypocrite right then. When you make a mistake with your wife, maybe it's not cheating on her, whatever it was that you said you wouldn't do no more, right? But you reneged on it. You feel me? And so at that moment of technicality, if we use the same context of how you define hypocrisy, you will be a hypocrite every time you break a promise to your wife on technicality of contradicting yourself. See, what I learned is humans are going to contradict themselves. I leave room for human contradiction because it's going to happen. The very things you say, for example, Paul said in the Bible, the things I don't want to do, I do. This is what Paul, the Apostle Paul, said in the Bible. The things I don't want to do, I do. And the things I do want to do, I don't do. Nevertheless, it's not me to do it, it's sin in me to do it. Now, if I say the same thing, you're going to say, oh, you're trying to make an excuse. It's sin in you to do it. Sounds like a Jedi mind trick. That's what Paul said. Paul said the things I don't want to do, I do. The things I do want to do, I don't do. And I'm paraphrasing. Nevertheless, it's not me to do it, it's sin in me to do it. If I told you that, you'll say, oh, you're not taking accountability. You ain't taking accountability for your actions. If I tell you, oh man, it ain't me, it's sin. It's sin in me that's doing it. If I tell you it's sin in me to do it, you gonna say, oh man, come on, you need to take responsibility for your actions. Sin in you, sin is a non-entity. You acting like it's a demon seed inside of you or something. That's your own actions. You need to take accountability. That's what Paul said. Paul said it's not me to do it. It's not me. What I do want to do, I don't do. What I don't want to do, I do. Nevertheless, it's not me, it's sin in me. And I'm paraphrasing, that's what Paul said. But see, if you talk to the wrong Christians, they ignore that part. Or let's say they don't consider it when they judge you. Ooh. When they try to discern you when you made false, they don't consider that part. They don't consider the part where Paul said, the things that I don't want to do, I do. They don't consider that part. When they're judging and discerning you. The things I don't want to do, I do. The things I do want to do, I don't do. Nevertheless, it's not me, but sin in me that does it. They don't consider that part when they're judging you. You see, that's why many people who are judges, right? Many of you should not be judges. You don't know what you're doing. You're supposed to consider, I'm like AI, a preacher is like AI with the Bible. Whatever situation it is that's going on, the word of God is going to come up in my mind and I'm going to realize what I should do. I'm going to realize what the situation is because the word is just in me that deep, right? When you read the word for years and years, you read the Bible for years and years, it's almost like it's second nature to know what applies to any given situation. And you know the difference between someone that is a hypocrite and someone that is struggling for whatever reason. It's a difference. But see, that's how you know who really got the word in them. Because when you got the word in you, man, you gonna know. You're gonna think about Paul. Okay, Paul said, whatever I do, the things I don't want to do, I do. Okay, so I'm gonna apply this to this person right here. I'm gonna apply this to this person instead of myself. Instead of myself all the time, I'm gonna apply it to this other person. That the things I don't want to do, I wind up doing, and the things I do want to do, I don't do. Nevertheless, it's not me, but sin in me that does it. I'm gonna apply that to them. Not just me when it's convenient for me, but I don't apply it to other people. I don't give other people a pass for their sin, but I give me a pass for my sin. When I make mistakes, I give myself a pass. You give yourself a pass, don't you? But you don't judge properly when it's someone else. See, me, this is how I chalk it off. You human. Me, you know why I'm an excellent servant of God? Because I don't mind being human, buddy. I don't struggle with it. Some people actually destroy themselves when they realize they're not perfect. When you come to and you grow up, and then you look at your life, you look at all the things you've done. Some people can want to kill themselves when they realize they're not perfect. But that's what you're gonna come to. You're gonna come to yourself and say, man, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. I need God, you know? And that's what makes the perfect servant, the person that don't think they perfect. The people that think they perfect, them the worst type of servants, because you already think you're perfect. You already think you're there. You already think you're somewhere you're not. So why would you need God? You won't feel the need that you need God, because you'll feel like I'm together pretty much. You know what I'm saying? I do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna talk like that to yourself. Not me. The best servant's gonna be like, I need God, bro. I used to like to smoke weed. I used to like to drink excessively. I used to like to get drunk as I possibly could without throwing up, without killing myself. Most people say I would like to get just drunk enough to not throw up. If I could get just right there where I don't throw up, that's why I want to be every time I drink. Every time I drink, I want to be right there where I don't throw up. Oh, that ain't true? It's true. More times than not, that's what you're shooting for, ain't it? You know what you're shooting for? You shooting to get as drunk as you can without throwing up and blacking out and getting alcohol poisoning. Right or wrong? You trying to go all the way. Why do you think you're going to get all the bottles? You go get Hennessy, you know what I mean? You get 2-3 bottles. What you trying to do? Hey, that's what your girl going to tell you. What you trying to do today? You trying to get me drunk today? Hey, you ain't dating no women if women ain't said that to you. Oh, you trying to get me drunk? Hey, a woman ain't never told you, oh, you trying to get me drunk, ain't you? Hey, you know what most men will say? Yes. Yes. You trying to get me drunk, ain't you? He done heard it a million times, so he gonna be sarcastic this time. Yes. and men use alcohol so that women can handle the love making better. That's the truth. And read between the lines, you know what I'm talking about. Especially if you're a black man, you know, if a woman kind of tipsy, she can handle the love making better. Okay, now like I said, I'm not telling you to get stupid crap face drunk, but you can't say drinking is not in the Bible. Drinking is in the Bible. But if it's something that is your poison, then no pun intended, then that's not what you should do. I don't have a problem with drinking alcohol. So I'm not going to be censored to Christianity where, you know, like I'm a cripple if I drink. Like I'm a pathetic drunk. I'm not. I never was. But see, the thing is with alcohol is it has no mercy, bro. It has no mercy. If you want me to tell you who's most consistent with killing is alcohol demons. Alcohol demons is worse than drugs and everything, because if you look at all these drunk drivers, I mean, you can't even add it up, bro. You can't. A matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna do when I get off of this. I'm gonna go look up all the drunk driver accidents, all of them. How many is it? What's the numbers on record? How many drunk driving casualties are there? How many people die from drunk drinking? Driving drunk? Millions probably. Drugs don't kill people that like alcohol do. See, that's what people sleep on. You know what I'm saying? I almost lost my life to alcohol. It's not a game. I almost died. I almost died from drinking alcohol. It's not a game, bro. Alcohol would take you to a grave, and you sleep on it because you don't think it's a drug. You know what I mean? Per se. But if you drink too much, you out of here. You out of here, bro. If you don't get to a hospital. And I almost died from drinking myself. That's something you can't take back. You can't take back that. But see, that's what makes alcohol merciless, man. It has no mercy. It don't ask you, are you a pathetic drunk before I kill you? Do I think I should kill you because you just are a pathetic drunk? You know, you lost your family to alcohol. You cheated on your wife a million times because you was drunk. I think I'm going to take you. Alcohol doesn't line you up like that. Alcohol would take you if you ain't never had a drink in your life. Take your life. Just like that. Don't ask you, don't discriminate and ask you how many drinks you had in your life. You know some people die from their first drink. From their first, not their first drink, but their first drinking, like a bottle of alcohol. They didn't know what they was doing. Think about it. Some people come from a conservative family, and you don't really know what you're doing. You don't know how to measure no liquor. If you come from, you're going to just keep downing it and thinking, oh, this is how it is. Think about it. And because it's liquid, you're going to be just downing it. And then once you get a little tipsy, you're going to do more. You're going to be like, oh, I like this feeling. And I'm going to tell you something that weed heads mess up with. Weed head can be the closest to getting killed from alcohol. You want me to tell you why? Because if you grew up, some people grew up smoking weed, doing pills, or drinking alcohol, right? One of those three. If you grew up smoking weed, you can smoke as much as you want, right? You can smoke 5 blunts and still be standing, basically. If you take that approach to alcohol, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die because you're gonna think I can just drink like I smoke weed. And that's where weed head get in trouble. That's why I almost got in trouble and lost my life. Because when you smoke weed, you just smoke weed. You get as high as you want to get. You don't stop. If it's a good night, you just smoke as much as you want, right? And if you take that same approach to getting high to alcohol, you see what I'm saying? That part, that's what's going to get you right there. That's what almost took my life. I took the same approach from smoking weed as a kid, and then I took that approach to alcohol. Like, I'm going to just get as high as I want, right? You can't do that with alcohol. You can't do it. Because it's a chemical in your body, and if it's more alcohol than your body can take, if it can't break it down in time. See, it's all about what makes you drunk is that your body couldn't break down the alcohol in time. If you could drink a whole bottle of anything over time and it doesn't do anything to you. And some people drink like that. They can have 1 bottle and it won't kill them. They can have 10 bottles and it won't kill them. But if you try to drink those 10 bottles at one time, you're going to die. Ain't nobody going to outlive that. But if I have it over time, I drink like a bottle a week, or let's just be reasonable among real Americans. If I drink a bottle a day, that's just being real, or a day and a half, something like that, that's about right. Nothing's going to happen. But if I try to drink 10 bottles at one time, you know how many people done died in bars trying to impress women or men? Even men, women trying to impress some good-looking guy. And you know you don't drink like that. And he got you drinking shot after shot after shot. Not to necessarily get you drunk, but y'all just dancing around. But you didn't pay attention. Because you a slim, beautiful woman, you got a low diet. So you barely eat. You eat like a bird. And so you start drinking and went to the club. You didn't realize that you got to soak that alcohol up. See, the true alcohol champions, and I'm not saying that in an excessive, sinful way, we learned one thing. You gotta drink water and you gotta soak up that alcohol with food. Glory to God. This is things I learned from experience, buddy. I don't care what nobody else is doing. If you know you drunk, you better go drink some water. I don't care how cool the atmosphere is. I don't care what's going on. I don't care if it's somebody famous around. You better step aside and go get you some water. See, that's how I always thought in the party. You know, I never shut down just chilling. That's what kill people too. Trying to hang on other people's level. Or do things as people doing it, and that day might not be your day to do it. You might have didn't have enough to eat on your stomach. You don't see people like that. Oh, I didn't eat good. I didn't eat enough. Now you sick. You can't do with this guy. He done ate 3 burgers. He's ready to get totally smashed. 3 burgers, he's ready to drink. If you eat 3 burgers, you're ready to drink, right? Right. Nothing's gonna stop you. Nothing's gonna stop you. If you eat 3 burgers, nothing's gonna stop you. But if you just ate like some yogurt and some little bread, you know what I'm saying? Let's just say some little yogurt, some little bread for whatever reason, and you were just working out and you just wanted to eat kind of good, a little bit good, you know, something a little healthy, just something you didn't want to eat too heavy. For whatever reason that day, you just did that, but you happened to hook up with your homie. He done ate 3 burgers. He's the opposite of you. He done ate like 3 burgers. And you just came from like working out or whatever, yogurt, some little toast with avocado on it or whatever. That part, right? And you and him just start hanging out. Oh yeah, you ran into your homie. You forgot. Oh, I didn't really eat today. But because it's just pressure, you're over somebody else's house, you don't really want to chow down, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta do what you gotta do. And you try to drink on his level and you know you ain't had, this dude done told you, he's sitting there telling you, yo, I ate me 3 burgers. I'm ready to party. I'm ready to party. I'm ready to party, right? You're sitting there just being nice to a fault. Well, yeah, I'm ready to party too. How you ready to party? You only ate a yogurt and avocado toast. You ain't ready to drink no liter of liquor. And you wind up going to the ER and wind up in the ICU because you only had yogurt and avocado toast. You can't do that. You gotta realize what lane you in. With drinking, I learned this. You could be just as much of a drinker as that guy right there that ate the 3 burgers. In fact, you could be more of a drinker than him. That's what's gonna fool you right there. You know your level as a drinker. I'm a heavyweight with drinking. Bonafide, right? But here's where it gets tricky. This is how the devil gets you. You know your level for drinking, but you gotta obey your body, which means you still gotta play by the rules. Even though I can drink a 5th with the best of them, right? If I haven't eaten anything, a person's gonna die trying to drink. Your level doesn't mean anything to submitting to your body. When you drink, you have to submit to your body. That means you gotta go eat before you drink. And during while you're drinking, the best will drink and then order food and eat rice and beans and them type of dudes. See, I'm one of them type of people. I'm already eat before I drink. Once I get saucy, I'm gonna go fix something else to eat. And then I'm gonna go up on another level. But see, you gotta know how to do it. Some people don't know how to climb and drink it. Like when you're in the streets, man, first of all, you can't eat good enough to really get drunk. I'm just be honest with you. No, you can't. You can't eat enough to get drunk. You ain't got enough food to eat to get drunk. You can. Now, you know, if you can, you know, kind of situation. You know what I mean? But on the average situation, man, once you eat and drink and get drunk, you can't do it again until the next day. You follow me? So it's like you can feel when okay, I done went to my limit. Now, somebody at home can, once they get to that limit, I can go fix me some pizza and come all the way back up. Oh yeah, what's up? You get to a certain level, I'm eating pizza. Oh yeah, let's play some cards. We playing spades, I'm eating, boom. You drink some water, you come all the way back up. Now you can get another fifth of vodka and drink that because your body has replenished. It's all about replenishing. So once you come all the way back up, now you can have another fifth of vodka in one night. What people make a mistake of is 1/5 of vodka, I already ate good. Now you did not replenish, so you can't have a second. The only way you're gonna have one bottle of vodka, see, it's scientifically proven. You just don't look at it cut and dry like that. I have to, because how I used to drink. So once you eat, you can have one bottle, a fifth of vodka, right? You drink water. You don't just say, I don't want to drink water. No, that's part of medicating yourself. You have to replenish your body. Whether you like to drink water, a real drinker, whether they like to drink water or not, they wind up drinking water all the time. Because if I drink, I have to drink water, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got to. You can't say I don't really drink water, but you really drink liquor. You can't do that. Beer, you can get away with it. Liquor, no. So I was a liquor drinker. That's what I don't drink beer unless I'm broke. Why? I mean, if I got $10, I can go get me a fifth. Or I can go get me a pint. I'd rather get me a pint of liquor than have a couple beers. I could drink that pint of liquor and I'm good. I'm better than a couple beers with $10. You go get $10, you're going to go through all that beer and you're going to feel all funny and I'm going to only do that if I ain't got no money. I got $10, I'm going to go get me a pint just like that. Right? But the only way you're going to be able to come back up from your first session is to eat again and replenish. That's the only way. Oh, and this is my hack right here. This is my hack right here, buddy. They acting like this is the Apollo, like you can clown me down. You know how they bring in the whistles? Like, listen, bro, this ain't the Apollo, sucker. I don't come down. Like, what you tell these lames? Like, you can't shoot me down. You a lame. I know you are. See, I'm at that age where I can call anybody a lame. You my age, man. Listen, these old dudes is lames. How much older is he than you? He ain't old enough to be your daddy. Then you call him a lame like he is. I don't care. You old enough to be my daddy. You not. This the heavy leagues, man. I used to drink liquor. I can drink with the best of them. But you can't break the rules. When I say drink with the best of them, I'm going to give you a perfect example. When I was in LA and Los Angeles, I got drunk and went to Hollywood. So, me and this dude, I met his girlfriend first, right? And we at the food stamp office in Los Angeles, right? So I'm getting my food stamps, I'm in and out. She got weed. I'm smoking weed with this girl. She got a pipe. This is LA for you. She got a pipe. She got bud, everything. She just break it. She gave me some bud in my hand. Like, this is LA though. She gave me some weed in my hand. Like, okay, thank you. Thank you. Like, she gave me some weed and she was smoking with me. So, I got like some weed in my hand, everything. Her boyfriend come out and we start hanging together, right? Me, him, and her. They hustle. They cut hair, everything. They set up shop and hustle. So he sent me to the store to get like a bottle of ENJ, right? Brandy. So in California, you can get like liquor. Like they do it now, but you can get like liquor from the like a CVS or anything like liquor, not wine, not wine. And in California, you can get liquor. You can get liquor at CVS and all them places like that. So I went and got liquor with no problem, right? I don't even think I had an ID at that time. I don't think I did. I got it with no problem. I came back. He sent me to the store to get it. He was gonna see if I was a bum or not. He was gonna see if I was gonna get that bottle and walk off. Cause he would have knew what type of dude I was. So, cause I ain't really know him. I just met him. But he would have settled on what kind of dude I was if I ran off with the money. So anyway, I came back with the bottle of NJ, and we drinking. I'm drinking. But then I'm a bona fide homie, right? Which means I'm a friend. I'm a comrade, right? Not that homie don't mean gangster. Homie is a friend. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a bona fide like homie type of person. So I can start drinking with you and find camaraderie with you and everything like that, right? So don't get it confused. Gangsters and homies are not one and the same necessarily. You know what I'm saying? A gangster can be a homie, but a homie don't gotta be a gangster. That's just my East Coast perspective. You know what I'm saying? A homie can be just a good person that just you find camaraderie in, like a brother that can sit down and drink with you, smoke with you, and you just love this kind of person. He's just a homie, man. Like he's just somebody you can chill with, everything like that. I'm like that, right? You can't just be friends. You gotta be a person that most people like to be friends with. They befriend easily, and you drink, you smoke, whatever, and you're just a homie, bro. Like, you know, and so while him and the girl that I met at the food stamp office in LA, while they was cutting hair, it was like these 2-3 other dudes that I found camaraderie in. We was like still in the same area. But you know how you start drinking and you get in a lane, right? So I was like in a lane over there with these dudes. And they left. Like, I think they left. But I just like got over there with them and started hanging with them or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we went to Hollywood. We got drunk and went to Hollywood. They was like, yo, let's go to Hollywood. I never been to Hollywood. That's why they wanted to take me. They was like, yo, let me take you to Hollywood. Right? And so I went to Hollywood drunk. But I was super nice though. Like I wasn't like drunk where I feel like, ooh, I feel like crap. I feel like I can't do anything. I feel like I'm about to throw up, nauseous. I ain't feel none of that. It was that nice feeling where you remember the night, but you didn't pass out. You was up. You didn't need nobody to hold you up. You was right. You had the energy, everything like that. That's when you hit it just right. That's what most people trying to do every time, right? But that night I did it just right, boy. And I went to Hollywood, man. I remember seeing Hollywood. Hollywood reminded me of Lower Manhattan. They got the eateries outside, the patios, the eateries like that. The patio eateries, you know, on the restaurants. That's Hollywood. You know, it reminds you of Lower Manhattan. I'm pretty sure they kind of modeled it after Lower Manhattan. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Because it looked too similar. So I was there at nighttime with the best time. It wasn't no kids there. It wasn't no corny people there. It was just a perfect time. I came there at the perfect time. So I'm like saucy. I'm in Hollywood just chilling. Chilling, bro. Like people would say chilling like a villain. Like I'm in Hollywood with like 2 other homies from LA. And we got back in one piece and everything. Got back to LA good. I ain't nothing go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Got back on the train, everything. I don't remember even how I was even navigating, but I was. But I was just sitting back watching, just talking, letting them talk to me, tell me what it is, walking all around, everything. Man, I was tipsy. I was way tipsy. I was like just floating, bro. Floating. That's probably one of the best times I actually got tipsy. Like drinking alcohol, like man, because it was like what you see in the movies. Like I'm here, I'm not nauseous, but I'm like way out there. Like I'm like way out there, but I'm okay. I'm not nauseous. I'm not, no side effects. You know, not throwing up. Don't feel like I ain't even need no water. See, but that's how you get caught on the streets. You ain't got no water. But see, me, I'm the type of personality, I pull over. I'm like, yo, we need to get some water. When I say pull over, that means I'm walking down the street. Yo, I need to go in the store and get me some water. I'm one of them dudes. Cause I know my body. You know what I'm saying? I I make everybody stop. Yo, I need to go in to get some water. Oh, all right. I go get some water. I'm back good. Drinking my water, whatever. But you can't be one of them personalities, man. You just walking around, you ain't getting water. You know what I'm saying? How somebody else know unless they pay attention to you? Like, oh man, you look like you need some water. You might have some friends like that. You look like you need some water, bro. You look tipsy. You like you need some water. Like you need some water, bro. Look at your spit. Your spit dry. You need some water, bro. You got that foam spit. You need some water. Lubricate your spit. But see, you gotta know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? When you drink that alcohol, boy, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that was one of my best nights when I was in Hollywood. Vegas, I remember when I was in Vegas, Las Vegas. This is a funny story. So, I'm in the Greyhound, right, in Las Vegas. We get there like in the afternoon, but we got a long layover, which is great because I can go see Las Vegas. So I knew I had like a long layover, so I went out and just seen the city and like, wow, dog, this is Vegas, man. I'm out in Vegas. Vegas is more live than New York used. Now it's done decline, but back when I went there, man, it was liver than New York. Like, anybody from New York will tell you, it's like, man, you get a little shy when you first go to New York, Las Vegas. You see all the people, women dancing everywhere, drinking in public. Like, it's a whole different vibe because you can drink in public, right? So I really wasn't up on that. I really didn't know that at the time. But then again, I don't think I had a lot of money. But anyway, I went back to the Greyhound. After I had seen the city, I was satisfied. I was like, yeah, I done seen Vegas, you know what I mean? I done walked around. I was cool. And then, so I was just sitting waiting in the lobby. This Mexican woman came up to me about my age. She was like, you know where I could get a Four Loko at? Yo, that's the funniest story to me. Cause even though I'm part Latino, most people take me as black, right? And I'm pretty sure this woman probably took me as black too, cause my complexion changes when I get tanned by the sun. My complexion gets deep brown, right? So I know I look like a black guy. But this is the difference between Mexicans on the West Coast and Mexicans on the East Coast. This is what surprised me. Mexicans on the West Coast, they embrace us and show us love like we their own people. We don't get that kind of love over here. If you go to the West Coast, if you're a type of man that like Mexican women or Hispanic or Latino women, you should be in the West Coast. Cause they aggressive, they show love, everything. Over here on the East Coast, they act like they don't really know us. That's the truth, man. I'm just being real. They act like they don't know us. So that's why I deal with even to this day, I got California Mexicans right now that I'm connected to on a spiritual tip, on a spiritual level, right? So when I'm in this Greyhound in Las Vegas, right? This Mexican woman came up to me. That wouldn't have happened on the East Coast. Nah, in New York, ain't no Mexican woman finna come up to me and say, yo, you know I can get a Four Loko? Can you imagine that? That's what tripped me out about it. Cause I'm from the East Coast, so I'm like, I was like, I can find out. I was like, I can find out. I think I told her that. So it was a black woman sitting right beside me. This is when America was so cool, man. I can even tell, like, how I was just chilling, and then a woman was next to me chilling too, and we just sitting there. And then this Mexican woman came up to me, and she was like, you know I can get a Four Loko? Excuse me. You know I can get a Four Loko? Out of all things, that's what tripped me out. That's what had me. That's a classic story. Cause it was the last thing I was expecting her to say to me, man. She was like, you know where I can get a Four Loko? That was like jackpot. But we in Vegas. That's why she wanted to drink. So she was like, the woman that was next to us, she was a black lady. She was like, you want to come too? She took us probably for safety, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. She was like, you want to come too? She was a smart Mexican woman, I think so. She was like, yeah. So she got her a beer, she got me a beer. We all was drinking. I was with 2 other women drinking. Yeah, like I had fun. I was on the strip with them drinking, just walking around. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know you could drink openly in Las Vegas. That's the first city I was just like, I had a Four Loko. Yeah. The black lady, she got her old English. She got her a 40. You know what I'm saying? She's old school. She got her a 40. But this the West Coast, so you know. She was cool too. She was real cool. Me and her started kind of hanging. You know, me and the black lady. You know what I'm saying? But the Mexican lady was cool from day one, because like, she was cool from the very time just how she approached me, man. Like that was crazy. Me and her went and we went to a 7-Eleven. Now everything is in glitz in Vegas. You know, everything is in lights. McDonald's Arch, the Golden Arch is in lights. 7-Eleven is in lights. All the signs you see from American brands, they glitz it so it don't look tacky. Because if you imagine it's lights everywhere, and think about McDonald's and no lights, it look tacky. So to make it coordinate, they put everything in lights. They put McDonald's in lights. You ain't never seen the Golden Arch in Las Vegas lights, have you? They put them in lights. They put the Golden Arch in lights, the 7-Eleven in lights. Yeah, so I had already seen the 7-Eleven up the block. You know, remind you, I had already lived in New York, so I can walk blocks quick and look around and remember and recall things. So I had already lived in New York by the time I went to Vegas, you know. So we started drinking, walking the strip, drinking Four Locos, came back. The girls wanted to go back, so I chilled to the last minute. You know what I'm saying? I've been drinking, I chilled for the last. They wanted to go back. It was like, you know, that's female though. I ain't been second, but they wanted to go. I stayed to the last minute, but they, you know, female ain't gonna risk it. She ain't gonna want to risk it. And the truth is, I was late. I was almost late. Cause like by the time I came back, everybody was lined up, getting on the bus. But it's perfect if you got all that time, you know, so I stayed out there when they went back. You know what I'm saying? And I really wasn't thinking about females at that time. I was thinking more about this in Vegas. So I ain't chased them. I just went back, chilled. They probably went in there talking and tripping and everything. They probably did, I don't know. But they could at least post it up outside, you know what I'm saying? But they was cool enough for us to kind of walk around or whatever, man. But so I done had great experiences with drinking from Vegas to Hollywood, and but it's not a problem for me. I don't have a problem with drinking. You know what I'm saying? If you do, then I would advise you not to drink. But see, as of now, I haven't had a drink in almost, it's going to be a year, coming on a year. You know, not much longer, it's going to be a year that I haven't had any alcohol, you know. And, but I wanted to do that for God because I promised God that I wanted to stop drinking for a year. I just wanted to do it as a vow, you know what I'm saying? Just nothing really attached to it. I just wanted to not drink for a year. And this year, starting last year, I decided that because I promised God that I wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm doing it. And I only got like 3 or 4 more months left. I got about 4 more months, technically 3 more months. Yep, next month will be 3 months. June, I come off in June, right in the summertime. Right before the summertime, I'll be back able to drink this year, you know. But I took a whole year off. I wanted to do that. So it's been like 8 months clean. But God knew everything I was about to go through. Because if I would have been drinking through some of these situations lately that I've been going through lately, I would have probably handled it totally different. I might have had a couple shipwrecks. I might have had some problems. You know what I'm saying? I might have ended up in jail. But I kept my nose clean. I had my last uh, little bit of Chardonnay on my way coming to New York. I came in tipsy. You know what I'm saying? I had me a bottle of Chardonnay. I was tipping it on the bus. So when I came in, I was already nice, saucy. Took care of my business. I knew what I was gonna do. I drank alcohol like a man. I drank it. It stimulated me to do what I gotta do. I knew I had a lot of running around to do when I first got to New York. I had me some white wine. White wine hit different, you know what I'm saying? If you drink it in the morning, it won't have you when you don't feel like you can do nothing. If you don't notice, that's why people drink at night, because they shut down. They feel like they can't do nothing too much more after they drink. But for me, I could drink on white wine and work. I used to work a job at the hospital, and I used to carry a little water bottle full of white wine. I used to fill it up. I used to drink white wine while I'm at work. But I didn't have to do no machinery or nothing. I had some machinery there, but nothing too serious. I could go work and make money and go in tipsy. My job at the hospital was my best job, still up to date. That was my best job, man. Because, I was just making money. I was just making money, man. You know what I'm saying? It was humdrum, just making money. You know what I'm saying? Week in, week out. I was in the groove of going to work. I had no problem getting there. You know what I'm saying? My attendance was decent. I didn't have no reason to stay out of work. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing to do but make money. So why be at home for it? That's how I was in the groove like that. No, I was in the groove like that. I had more fun at work. That's how I was at that time in my life. I didn't have a girlfriend. I had just divorced my wife, and I got this great new job right after I divorced my wife. It was like the blessing after I divorced my wife, my first wife. It was the blessing. After I got that job, I just threw myself into my job. I totally forgot about her. She probably wondered why I never tried to find her or talk to her again, because once I got that job at the hospital, that was it for me. I just was preoccupied with working and making money. And then once I settled in, it was all these beautiful women. So, I quickly got over her with seeing all these beautiful women, not even trying to holler at them, just interacting with these high quality women, these nurses. I was talking to nurses and everything, man. At the hospital, me, my personality, I was talking to nurses, me on my own, you know what I'm saying? So, I quickly got over her real good, real easy. I actually forgot about her. If you find that's hard to believe, but I actually kind of forgot about her, bro. I never tried to chase her. After I left her that last time, and we had an apartment together, and we had just had a newborn baby boy, and she acted like she couldn't appreciate that, that was it. That was it for me. I didn't look back. And I got my divorce myself. I had a friend named Hezekiah that I used to work for when I was 17. You know what I'm saying? And I seen him at the plasma center one day, because I used to get money like that too. I was so in the groove of getting money. I wasn't greedy, but I just got money. Because I was working third shift. When I got off my job, I'd catch the bus, because I was catching the bus. I'll catch the bus to the plasma center, which is on the same side of town, and then I'll go get that money before I go home from after a whole shift of working. I'll work a whole shift, then go to the plasma center. Yeah. So one day I was up there at the plasma center after work, right? They see me in my uniform. I know women respected that. Like, yeah, shoot, he coming up here after work. I feel him, need that extra bread. Yeah. It counts. Cause see, when I got that little extra money like that, I could just, that was my little weed money or my alcohol money. Cause I was smoking it. I started smoking halfway through going to the plasma center. Cause dudes be up there from the streets. The streets is all up there at the plasma center. So, dudes be up there selling weed and everything. And I started back smoking weed, getting bags off people up there. But I seen my boss. He was up there at the plasma center. Now this is the South. He was up there. So me and him started talking, whatever. I was telling him what I was trying to do. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get my divorce, man. He was like, oh, huh? He stopped in his tracks. He was like, yo, I can get your divorce today. I was like, huh? He's like, I can take you downtown today. So what I did that day, he said, just give me that $25. So I gave him my plasma money that day. I gave him that plasma money. Sure enough, me and him got on the bus together. We had to go and get on the bus together. I gave him my plasma money that I got that day when I saw him, when me and him was up there. Sure enough, man, he was in paralegal, so he understand law and everything. He filled it all out. He filled my divorce all out. Sure enough, my divorce was official July 8, 2008. July 8, 2008, not even a year after I started working at the hospital. So after that, I'm divorced. I divorced my wife. I got the certification. It's stamped. Signed, sealed, delivered. It's mine. I done divorced her. Oh, yeah. She was the type of woman talking about, oh, if we get divorced, I don't know why, because we gonna get married again. That's how much she loved me. She loved me, though. She told me she didn't even want to die because me and her would be together. She didn't even want to go to heaven. That's the only woman I heard say that. She said she didn't even want to go to heaven because me and her wouldn't be together. The only other woman I heard say that is Sade. Sade said that in the song. Like basically, she didn't basically don't want to die because she want to go to, because she want to be with this person. She don't even want to go to heaven, something like that. But she didn't. But she was too young to appreciate. It wasn't even like really just the sex, you know. It was just the whole vibe between us in the beginning. But what I really feel is that outside influences from her job, kind of the high school environment from her job, and the girls how they talk at her job made her feel like she didn't really have nothing going on. You know what I'm saying? And your peers can make you, your peers can make you ungrateful for what you got, you know? And the last time I checked, she was living with her mother, you know what I'm saying? That's better than what me and her had. And so she was around a lot of worldly influence on her job. She was around a lot of people, these girls, this is Florida, so girls got they bust out, they got their hair, you know what I mean? This is Florida weather, you know what I'm saying? You know what type of girls. It's girls, they listen, it's all year round. You know what I'm saying? It's a party all year round. So at my job, I work at Bally Total Fitness. Everybody know that brand. That's everywhere. That's here in New York. So I worked at Bally Total Fitness where I relocated. The job gave me a transfer from state to state. So I'm a man that works so good. I got a transfer to a whole nother state. So I had a job when I went down to Florida from day one because I transferred with the company. You know what I'm saying? My boss man knew I had my son was gonna be born, and so he set me up nice that I have me a job when I go down there. So my wife got pregnant. My wife was pregnant when I left her, and I didn't know. The first apartment. She got pregnant when I left her. So I went back to her and I went back to her because she called my mom and told my mom she was pregnant after I had came all the way back up to North Carolina from Florida. Right? And so my boss, I was working at that time. I had a job at Bally Total Fitness. Remind you, I didn't have any responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? I was just working because, I'm living with my mom. I can't stay there without working. See, my family put pressure on me where I couldn't lay up. You know what I'm saying? Even if I don't have a job, it's always this pressure to work in my mom's house. So I had a job at Bally Total Fitness, right? My mom didn't just let me lay up. You know what I'm saying? If not really consistently, and it was always this pressure. So I had a job at Bally Total Fitness, and like I'm old school. I just walk in and apply for a job. So I got a job like in 2006 on Halloween. You know what y'all call Halloween. That was 2006, right? So my wife was pregnant already. So she told my mom, and my mom brought me to her house and told me. She brought me all the way to her house. She didn't want to tell me over the phone. And I found out my wife was pregnant. My mom was like, I talked to Ashley and she said she is pregnant. You know how a woman gonna be glad. My mom was glad. She was like, she is pregnant. I planned to go. After that, I just melted with love. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I felt just went away. And I just was smiling. You know what I'm saying? I was just glad she was having my child. You know, that just all the drama just went away. And we planned for me to go back down there and come down there. I was going to save as much money as I could. I was already working my job. So I told my boss that I wanted to get a transfer with the company. So I'm actually that good of a worker that I got a transfer from North Carolina to Florida. And some people can't say that. Some people can't say I got a transfer with a company from one state to the other, not one store in the same city. They gave me a transfer from North Carolina to Florida. So once I got down there with my son being born, when I first got down there, me and my wife got in a motel at the place where we took our anniversary. You know, we had this motel where we took our anniversary. So when I came back down there while she was pregnant, we stayed in that motel for some time. And she got some money back from a car accident that I was involved in. You know what I'm saying? It was the other woman's fault. It wasn't my fault. There was nothing I could do. She got like $7,000 back from that. So we had a little money to be at a motel and to look for a place to live. You know, so mind you, my wife is about to pop. You know, she's like 9 months pregnant basically. So I came down there right on the money. You know what I'm saying? And got my job lined up, everything. Got my job ready to go. Mind you, I'm in the groove of working. You know, I've been working at this Bally Total Fitness job. I'm in the groove of working. You know, but at this time when I first get down there, you know, me and my wife in a motel, and we just waiting for her to have a baby. So I did what most men do. I drove my wife to the hospital. I can drive a car. I had my driver's license in Florida. You know what I'm saying? I drove my wife to the hospital. And we didn't really know she was going to have a baby, you know. But we thought we was going to leave. She was like, she was like, leave? She said, yo, she's about to have this baby. You know how women are. She about to have this baby. So we stayed overnight. We went there during the night, and she was just having I think it was just the contractions. You know, they were closer together, and she probably noticed it, and they said if she was going to stay. So over into the afternoon, my son was born like probably after 1 or 2, probably around 1-ish, 2-ish, and I cut the cord, everything. I did all of that, man. I seen my son come out of my wife's womb. That's one of the best days of my life. Always. It's always, no matter what happened and no matter what the situation is. Every man gonna tell you that's one of the best days of their life. You see your son born, you see your child come out your wife's womb. That's one of the best days of your life. So then we went back to, it went so good, we moved right in. I mean, I think because the landlord we had a new baby boy, they were just glad to help us and glad to get us going and up and going and everything. And so we moved in with no problem, you know. Had my son, my wife was working, I'm working, I'm driving, you know what I'm saying? My routine, like people say, get a life, I had a life. And a real man knows what having a life is. Having a life is a routine. When you got a life, you got a routine. My routine was drop my son off at his babysitter, which was his grandmother, which was my wife's mother, my mother-in-law. I dropped my son off first at his babysitter. I drop my wife off at work. This is me driving. I'm doing this in like 6 or 7 o'clock traffic. I'm driving my son to the babysitter. I drive my wife to work, and I drive to my job, which is across town a little bit. It's not right together. and I take the car home. I take the car to work for myself. So I'm the one with the car at the end of the night, at the end of the day. And I go to work. I take my car. I take me and my wife's car to work. After work, I go get my son. I go get my wife and then get my son. And that was my routine every day. And so that's how you know I'm a mature, real man. You know what I'm saying? I have a real routine. I had a real routine in my life. That was my routine. Take my son to his babysitter, take my wife to work, take the car for myself to go to my job. And like I said, after work, I go drive and get my wife. She worked at Coca-Cola for customer service, so that was good money. All she had to do was talk to the vendors over the phone and get their orders going with Coca-Cola. So that's all she did. So that was a good job. It had benefits, everything like that, all that good stuff. I think she even had a 401k. She had benefits. So, but Bally Total Fitness also is just a good company. We both work for 2 American good companies, good brands, American brands. Bally Total Fitness, Coca-Cola. 2 different lifestyles though. 2 different lifestyles. Because obviously Coca-Cola and Bally Total Fitness. You know what? I never really thought about that, but it's true. 2 different lifestyles, man. I'm working at Bally Total Fitness. She working at Coca-Cola. But yeah. So she loved that job. But it was always some type of controversy. I think it caused stress for her too. It was always some type of stuff going on with the ins and outs of the situation with the staff and everything. And also one dude tried to holler at her up at the job. He kind of touched on her. I'm like, oh, so she had to take care of that with management and everything for this person fraternizing with her and everything like that. And so it was some controversy at that job. She was always talking about something. But we were functioning as a family. That's the thing that I'm stressing. And then somewhere along the line, like I said, my routine was driving my son to his babysitter, driving my wife to work, to Coca-Cola, driving and taking the car home. So you see, I was a responsible, competent man. See, if I don't say that, you will think that I'm one of these cripples that go through life and ain't never had nothing, don't know what it is to experience your own. Remind you, we had our own apartment, both of us on the lease, everything. I'm on the lease, she on the lease, all that good stuff. And we splitting the rent. I'm putting my money towards the rent. It ain't just her money like some black dudes. It's me and her money. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying my part, she paying her part. But it was this with my ex-wife too. She didn't wanna spend all her money in bills like a responsible young woman. She wanted to do other things with her money. That's what made her stressed. She ain't wanted like me. Long as my bills are paid, I'm happy. That's my philosophy. If my bills are paid and I ain't got nothing but like $20, $30 left, but I'm happy with my bills being paid. Not her. She always thought about her money being put somewhere else. But see, that's not the real world. You gotta crawl before you walk. You can't waltz up to success and waltz up to some type of vocation where you're just successful making 10K, 50K, et cetera, et cetera. You gotta crawl before you walk. And she was just anxious to get somewhere before without a natural progression. It's not that she couldn't get there, she just didn't take it naturally, right? And so we had all that we needed. We had our newborn son, we had that, we had our son, we had a new place. This was our second apartment together. We both was on the lease both times. Both working both times. Make that very clear. I had my license both times in both apartments. Okay, and we had our life. We had a life, but like I said, she was just too young to appreciate it, and she didn't want to put her money in bills. This is things she stressed in so many ways. Me, because I had already traveled and went to California and everything. By the time I met her, all I cared about was we got a nice place to live, we got a kid, we both working, we both driving, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like that to me, see, a man gonna think differently. A woman with ambition is gonna think, I want it like yesterday. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. See, that's what attracted me to her in the beginning, because I had the music going, everything. I had these dreams for music. She believed in me and everything, and she just had these ideas for business all the time. This is what attracted to me to her from day one. She was in college from day one. When I first met her, she had a car. She already had a car. She was in college. I was attracted to that. You know what I'm saying? Just the responsibility, the independence. You know, because I was already independent myself by just being I was from out of town. You know, I wasn't in my home state, so I had these dreams, and so I already had a sense of independence by nature, right? So that's what attracted me to her, and but once the real story folds out, you know, you gotta walk that stuff out. You gotta walk them dreams out. And that's where she couldn't make it. She couldn't walk it out. You know what I'm saying? And it was some tragic situations in the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got so bad, she left me and my son. And that's what's almost unforgivable. Like, my son was a baby, an infant. I had to call out of work one day and tell my boss I can't come to work because my wife done ran off. You know what I'm saying? With the car and everything. And when I called, this is back when payphones was out, the end of that era. I called and she's over her dad's house. She ain't having sex with nobody. And she's over her dad's house. And I'm calling out of work. I'm sitting there with my son. And I can't make no money. What woman you know gonna respect that? Your husband gotta call out of work and sit home. I mean, I could see if you took my son, you ain't even take him with you. So I'm sitting there like a woman usually is, with my son, waiting for her to come home. Don't know when she gonna come home. I'm sitting there waiting. I done called out of work. Can you imagine how I felt? I gotta call. This is me and her getting back together. After I already done broke up with her. I got a job, I'm working, I'm doing good. She called me pregnant. I come back down there, speed up. Now I'm calling out of work because she done ran off. Same kind of attitude I had before we had the baby. My boss had no respect for her. I don't know what he said, but that's what I remember. He had no respect for her. Because I had to call in on my job and sit home and get a day's off and miss a day's wage because you want to just run off. And it wasn't even, I don't even remember what the argument was about. That's what's so trivial. That's how I know it was trivial, because I don't even remember what it was about. Nope. Don't remember. All I know is my son didn't even have formula. She ran off with the baby bag left with the formula and everything. All he had was what was left in the bottle. That's all he had. The whole formula, bottle, the can was gone. In the back seat with her, over her dad's house. So not only did she run off, I had nothing left to feed him but the bottle that I had made up, that we made up. That had to stretch through whenever she came back, and all the formula was in her car. Just total neglect. Just total neglect. And I'm sitting there like, I'm sitting there with this, I'm just hanging on kind of attitude, just like, that's what I went through with her. That's when I knew, and that's why she had respect for me. She never really put me through no problems with my son, because she knew what it was, hands-on, man. I'm the one, I was the responsible father. I was the one that paid dues. I went through stuff, through pain. I ain't never put her through no pain with my son. You know what I'm saying? She put me through pain with my son. I had to sit home and take off of work while she ran off somewhere. Remind you, I'm so young, I ain't even thinking she cheating on me. Most people would say, she gotta be cheating. How y'all got a new baby son and this is a woman and she ain't here with you? See, I was so young, I didn't think like that. Now, I would definitely think that. How you ain't here with your son? Where could you be? What could be more important than this? If you mad at me, that's one thing. But at least come and get him. So then you gonna really think, oh, she with somebody else. That's why she don't want me to, that's why she left my son here with me. That kind of stuff, bro. That kind of stuff, man. So, you know, I went through that. I went through her taking everything out the apartment, and I ain't got nothing. This is after that. This is after that happened. After that, another day, she took everything out the apartment. That means the bed, the food, everything. Her mom felt so bad for me. She slipped me $20. That wasn't even her mom's nature, man. Her mom felt so bad for me. She slipped, while they were getting all the stuff out the house, she said, here, take this money. That's why I have respect for her mother. See, her mom and her dad was in military. So my first time really interacting with military was my in-laws. Both of them were military. So my father-in-law was military. My mother-in-law was military. Okay? And that's how I know she had honor codes, because when she seen all I was going through, she slipped me like some $20 just so I had something to eat. I ain't have nothing. So when she left, she took my son, she took everything. Remind you, this is still my baby boy son. She took my son, she took everything in the house. Everything. That means no bed, no nothing, no chairs, no nothing. Nothing. No TV. Only thing I had was my radio. Luckily, me being a musician, I kept a radio. That's the only thing I had. Don't you know, before the end of the night, before the next morning, she was knocking on the door. I'm like, who is this? Like, knocking on the door. Right? Don't you know it was her before the next morning? Before the sun came up the next day, she was knocking on my door in the middle of the night. Her mom was so mad, she said, look, I ain't helping y'all move no more. She moved back in the same day, within 24 hours. We had to move all the stuff back in. After not even 24 hours. That's what I was going through. And her mom knew everything we was going through. You know what I'm saying? Everything, you know. And I just wound up getting respect from both of her parents. You know what I'm saying? I got respect from her dad because I lived with her dad. When I first met her, I moved in with her father, right? And so me and him had a relationship. He was military. He was in the military for the Navy and all of that. You know, and so that was my first experience living with military. And when I left her, he was like, do me and you, do you gotta leave? I was like, well, I already got my ticket, you know what I'm saying? He was like, that's how her dad was. He said, because I get tired of that boy cry wolf stuff. That's what he said about his own daughter. Because you keep crying wolf, but you keep coming back. You keep coming back to this person. Like, that's boy cry wolf. That's an American saying in the South. Boy cry wolf, man. You keep saying wolf, 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 but there's no wolf. You know, so, you know, like he said, I get tired of that boy cry wolf stuff. You know, it's nothing there. You keep coming back to this person. It ain't nothing wrong. He was like, do you gotta leave? I was like, yeah, well, I already got my ticket. You know what I'm saying? You know? So, that's how it was. And then another time he was like, I don't only miss my son-in-law. I miss my brother in Christ. Me and him was Christian brothers, pray together, take communion together, read the word. Sometimes she would actually come in my room, his room, and pull me out of his room. That's what kind of woman she was. Take my hand and pull me out, because me and him would spend so much time together as brothers. So I know how to find camaraderie among real men, military men. This was a military man. This was a real man. You know what I'm saying? He got 3 kids in his house. 3 grown kids. All his kids grown, basically. Basically, man. They're like, I mean, yeah. But he was a manager at the grocery store, you know what I'm saying? So he made pretty decent money. And he was always a manager in different places. That's just from him being in the military and just having education, you know. He always kept a manager's position. But yeah, I let him know, the last time I communicated with my father-in-law, I wrote him a letter letting him know that my ex-wife did not take the money that I offered her from child support. See, I know he didn't know that, because if she was living with him, which she was, he ain't gonna let her live there without paying, and she could be taking money from me to help that child. This was an infant child. And it was the best decision that I made, because it proved her character and it proved mine. My auntie told me to do this. My Aunt Bessie told me to do it. She was like, go put yourself on child support. And I respected her so much, I didn't even put it off. Because that's how I was when I was younger. Somebody tell me to do something, I just go do it. She was like, go put yourself on child support, because that, you know, you'll be taking care of your business and everything. She talked, my dad didn't even, nobody else didn't talk. My mom, nobody else talked to me. My aunt, she was the one. She was like, go put yourself on child support. You know what I'm saying? She was like, take care of your business, whatever she said to me, it registered, man. I went down there, put myself on child support. I went running down there, did that. That was the best thing I did, man, because that solidified my initiation of taking care of my son, right? Don't you know she didn't take the money for child support payments? I was already working, so it ain't had nothing to do with me. She did not take the money. The state of Florida sent me paperwork saying that she did not comply with child support payments. That's taking the money, not her paying me. Just taking good free money to take care of our child. When most black women hear my story, they like, what? They want to beat this woman up. That's the like. I put myself on child support, even if I was your enemy, and it wasn't even that deep like that. It was. She wasn't even built like that. She was no street woman by any stretch of the imagination. She was total suburban woman. That's what probably attracted me to her. She was refined. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't for the streets or none of that. She wasn't for the streets at all. And I think that's what attracted me too. She ain't had no street. She wasn't from a block, you know what I'm saying? Like Future say, she don't, you know, she ain't from the block. She from the block, so I don't want her. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't from the block. You You know what I'm saying? She wasn't. That's what attracted me to her. She was suburban, you know what I'm saying? Well spoken, in college, everything working. But then she was ghetto. But then she was ghetto once we got together. I put it like this, she was ratchet once we got together. Right? Okay, so like I said, the state of Florida sent me paperwork saying she did not comply. So that's why I always got respect from the state of Florida. They would find me. Like through my emails or whatever. And cause I had different phones all the time. So I think the only way I can imagine they found me was through my emails. So with that being said, man, I put myself on child support and got they sent me paperwork from Florida to North Carolina, right? And so, when she sent me the paperwork, when they sent me the paperwork, from that time forward, I always had respect from the state of Florida. Always. Anytime she had problems with my son, right? The state of Florida always contacted me to see if I could take my son into my life. And I couldn't because I wasn't in the circumstance. But they respected me so much based off of me putting myself on child support. They see me as the responsible parent. So the state of Florida always contacted me throughout the years. And so to see if I could take him when she lost custody. Now you would ask me, why they contact you? Because she lost custody twice. This is real parent pain, woman pain. That usually women go through. She lost my son to the state twice. Not one time, twice. And the last time, they contacted me and asked me, could I take him? And I was like, nah, I can't take him right now because I'm living with somebody else. Basically, I can't take him right now. I'm finding out the blue stuff that she don't even know that I found out. They giving me the whole they respected me so much. They gave me the whole transcript of what happened, how she lost my son. She lost my son from fighting her father, his wife, fighting her stepmother a day after Christmas in front of the kids. The kids were traumatized. It must have been a bad fight because the transcript talked all about the kids yelling, and I had word for word what happened. She don't know this. She still don't know this to this day. They sent me a whole transcript. That's why I do respect Florida when it comes to them kids, because they seen that I was the responsible parent. They knew I was a responsible parent because of me putting myself on child support. So they always, over the years, anything go wrong, they on the jack talking to me. They on the phone talking to me. Deputies, sheriffs, and all of that. Talking to me real nice and cordial and everything. Let me know, because they already seen records of me taking initiative to take care of my son, and she wouldn't even take the money. They didn't have no respect for her. Think about it. The police, the courts and the law ain't got no respect for you. If you don't take no money, if a man is offering you money and you don't take it, what kind of woman is that? That's why me as a parent, I won. I will always win because I put myself on that child support payments where she would get money. And guess what? Here's the punchline. Even after she didn't take the money, I still sent money. After I got paperwork from the state of Florida when I'm in North Carolina, that she did not comply with taking child support payments, which must have been like 3 months or something like that. Because it wouldn't have been 1 month. It couldn't have been 2 weeks. They're going to give you time to comply. It must have been like 3 months after I put myself on child support payments for her to get the money. She ain't got to pay nothing. And it was understood. That was understood. Right? Even after that, I don't even know how I was still talking to this woman after that. Don't ask me. That's me being young. I was still talking to her, right? So I'm still talking to her, whatever, right? Based on probably because my son, you know. So I'm still talking to her. She give me her address. So I send her money for my son, cash. She getting it faithfully. People at the job, my homie at the job, yo, you sending too much money. My mom telling me, yo, you sending too much money. Once my mom told me and everybody told me, I stopped sending that much money. I was sending more money than I was supposed to be sending. Everybody, by most people's standard, they was like, you sending too much money. But it's never enough. I know that too. It's never enough money. But so when I got around to actually giving her money and she taking my money, I was sending too much. That's why I never had a problem with her. That's why she can't find herself ever. Really, you know, she'll try. She tried, even the last time, to try to point out things or whatever. But she know in her heart of hearts, man, that I was more of a responsible parent than she was. Cause this is my money I work for. This ain't no EBT cash. No, this is me going out and humping it and working myself and sending my hard-earned cash in the mailbox that I work for. My money I work for. Not nobody holding my hand, not no handouts. That's why God allowed me to chill like I'm doing now, buddy. People don't know your story, man. That's why I don't judge nobody. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you've been through. I don't know why you are the way you are. I don't know your story. And I don't assume to. Because they say, when you assume, you make a what? You make an ass out of yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you assume anything, you're going to make an ass out of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like me, I done been a responsible parent, working, sending my money for my son, for him to get money, for him to have things. And so I still took care of him. But most good men would have stopped when she didn't take the money by the state. When the state sent paperwork saying she didn't take the money, most responsible men, most real men would have said, most black men, I know my own people, black men would have said, I did what I could. I did what I could. I ain't sending no money down there, and she couldn't take no money from the state. Then why am I saying, if that's the most professional way to do it, then why am I sending some more money? Why am I saying something any other way? She ain't take money like that. And she too sorry to go get that. I ain't sending nothing. I don't trust, if she ain't take that money, I don't know, she might not even take this money. She might throw it away, crazy she is. Or if she get a letter, don't even know what it is and throw it away. Most good, responsible men would have said this, man. Most responsible men would have said this. As once she ain't take money from the state, that's professional as it gets. Even though me and her was on speaking terms, pretty much. That's as professional as it gets. If you don't take money that way, listen, man, I ain't sending nothing. Don't let it be a trifling dude. Oh yeah, I did what I could. Hey, a trifling dude gonna say, I did what I needed to do. The trifling dude, boy, that's like gold. He gonna be showing them paper, and he gonna put the paper in the frame, ain't he? Y'all see these papers? Y'all see these papers up here? I went in there, I filed child support payment, and she ain't take. Hey, he gonna put it up there on a portrait. He gonna make a portrait out of it, ain't he? Hey, he gonna make copies out of it, ain't he? He gonna make sure that everybody got that. He gonna put it in the box in the attic. He gonna get copies and put it in the box in the attic. He gonna pull it out. Yeah, I lost the other one. Here's some more. Here's the papers. I lost the other ones. I got more. I got them in the box up there. Hey, listen, man. Most people wouldn't have said no money. Even a good man or a trifling man, they wouldn't have said no money. But I'm a righteous man. I'm not just a good man, I'm a righteous man. I sent money even after. Look at that. After she did not comply with the child support payment. That's the most professional way to do it. She didn't take money after that. She didn't have to do nothing. And then guess what? This is the punchline. This is gonna blow your mind right here. So when I finally called up to her, and me and her was able to talk on the phone, one-on-one, I asked her like a real man would, and I'm glad I asked her. I asked the right questions. Why didn't you take the money when I offered you that money? That's what I asked her, like a real man. I ain't no fake nigga. I said, why? I don't care what we talking about. I don't care if we on good terms or not. I said, why didn't you take the money when I offered? I got to talk to her. You see the kind of man I am? See, yeah, buddy. I make it feel good for myself. You can use that for yourself. I make it feel good for myself, buddy. I make it feel good for myself. I make it feel good for myself, buddy. Later on, it feel good for myself. Yeah. You got to ask her that. Why didn't you take the money? You know what she told me? You ain't gonna believe this. This is the most insulting thing you could say. You know what she told me? I had something to do. Ooh, I could have just ran down. I could have just ran. I could have just ran in traffic. Not to hurt myself, just run through traffic. Man, she told me she had something to do. She said she had something to do. It's no employer, no school in college, that's my ghetto moment for the day. No school in college, right? No school in college that's gonna tell you you can't go downtown to get that money for your child. In fact, you could probably go to whistleblowers or something, City Hall or something, and whistleblow against somebody that won't let you go get money for your child while you're working. Everybody gonna let you do that because that's short money, what we call short money on the streets. Short money in a job, that's short money. I'ma choose that over a job all day. If I don't have a job, I'm gonna have that short money coming in. Especially if I know your job is secure and you work it and you to the point where you done sent paperwork. I'm sure you got a good job. And I did have a good job. I was working at the hospital. It was no problem for me to get it all worked out, man. I got it all worked out. I don't even remember how I did it all. See, that's how it is when you're young. I can't even tell you how the paperwork and what it was and how. All I know is I sent them all my paperwork, everything, my bank cards, everything. Because I had a bank account at a bank. I was doing good. Yeah, I had a bank account. A real one where I go to the bank. I used to go to the bank, okay? The real bank. What y'all call Wells Fargo, they used to be called Wachovia. I used to bank with Wachovia. What we call Wachovia in the South. They became Wells Fargo, so I used to bank with Wachovia right there on Freedom Drive in Charlotte. Yeah, I used to go in that bank, sit in them lines. Sit in them lines and everything. Yeah. So I used to do, I did everything that men supposed to do, and you think men sit in the bank, you know what I'm saying? Some people ain't never been in no bank. Ain't never had no bank account. Nope. Some people haven't. You know what I'm saying? So, I had it all that worked out where she's supposed to get the money. She told me I got something to do. That's what she told me. Make them pay for it. So, she did not take the money, right? She didn't take the money. You see the difference between me and these bums? in this building. You see what I'm talking about? I'm a real man, buddy. I got real pain. I got real situations I've been through. You a gay boy that ain't never took care of no child, buddy. We don't let you in my lane. We don't let people like you in our lane. That's why you hate it. That's why you had to come up here and play around me. Listen, buddy, I hear you all out there in the hall, buddy. People right outside of here playing psychological games, trying to, throwing witchcraft and all of that while I'm talking to you. Psychological stuff. That's why they got hell to pay, bro. Because I'm a real man, buddy. I took care of my son. I took care of my son when I could, right? That's why my wife, me and her, I'm still the most responsible parent. I will always have that. See, once I talk to him, if the Lord tarries and I do somehow talk to him, I'm going to tell him the truth. I'm going to tell him everything he need to know. But I'm pretty sure he figured it out because all the stuff that she done, all the stuff fighting in front of him, fighting his grandmother, my son's grandmother, fighting her in front of him. So when they gave me paperwork, they told me how she was fighting the stepmother and everything. They showed me everything. She threatened the cops and everything. That's how bad it was. She got arrested the first time and she wrote me from jail. That's when she gave me her address. She gave me her father's address. That's when I told him everything I needed to tell him. I put myself on child support and she ain't take the money. Now her father knew that. After that, she still was living with him. That's how trifling she was. She was living with him, with another child. She had another child by another man. This man was just like me. You know what he said? He said, she told me this herself. She can't hold no water. She gonna tell you the whole story. She gonna tell you everything that she going through. She ain't gonna hide nothing to save face. She told me the other man that she was with didn't want her or her child that she had by him. She told me that specifically. He didn't want her or the child. This is the dude she had a child with after me. This dude didn't want her or the child. He ain't want nothing to do with her or the child. That's what he told her. I ain't never said that. Whatever she did to him, and mind you, she done had a kid by him and everything. This is after me. She done had a kid by another dude, everything. Whatever it was, I don't know what she did to him, boy. But she sent me through stuff too. She sent me through all kind of stuff, leaving me home with my child. I told you. I can't even imagine what she did. But all I know is, man, she told me herself he ain't want her or the child. That's gotta be bad, especially if it's a girl. A man gonna be protective and wanting a girl. He ain't even want the girl. Like daddy's little girl. Like I wanted a girl, but I had a boy. But I really wanted a girl. He had a girl by this same woman. He didn't want her or the child. That's what she told me herself. No lie. So see, I got closure from all, I hate to say it, but I got closure from all the stuff she did after our divorce, that I divorced her from. I got closure. I got good closure because it wasn't just me. Another guy dated her and he didn't want her or the child. And that was closure for me. That you could find some other dude that's working or whatever and y'all get together and whatever, but y'all still got a similar situation to mine where he don't want you or the child. That's closure for me. Not that I'm wishing her bad, but it's closure in a sense that it wasn't me. You feel me? It's like this person would have maneuvered some type of other way, which was proven with someone else, and it still would come out tragic, just like mine, like my situation. He didn't want her or the child. So she wound up not having him to take care of her second child, just like I wasn't able to be there to be with my son. She went through it twice. She fought her dad's wife. Look at that. This is 3 strikes, man, and you out. How you gonna fight somebody how you gonna fight your dad's wife? Physically. Well, she done pulled her down to the ground, everything. She ain't even no fighting woman would make it so bad. That's what make it so bad. And it was right after Christmas, I remember. So how could they not be in the holiday spirit? That's just, that's crazy. You can't say it's depression because my son is now a certain age. What I found out, this is also closure. So I find out that she's on a crazy check. She tells me, most people wouldn't have gave that, they asked that kind of information, but like I told you, she don't hold no water. You know, that's how they say that in the South. That means you can't hold no secrets. You know, but she can't hold no water. You know what I'm saying? She told me everything. She told me she was on a crazy check. And I ain't judging that. You know what I'm saying? But it's closure for me because I know that something wasn't right with her. You know what I'm saying? Something wasn't right in her mind. You know what I'm saying? Because it just didn't add up. And a lot of times I would try to make sense of this stuff. I'm like, man. But then because somebody else, was it me? You know what I'm saying? But then she was with other people. One other dude was like, he wanted to run through a wall. He wanted to run through a wall from arguing and being with her. This dude said he wanted to run through a wall. Like a cartoon. You know how in the cartoon they got the silhouette going through the wall, the whole with the arms up here. This is like a cartoon. This man said he wanted to run through a wall. That's how bad she was. That's how bad it was, man. And I met her through her stepfather, which he's dead now. Her stepfather from her mom's side, and I met her like that through him, and that was a situation where it wasn't even by preference because I was staying at the shelter in Tampa, right? I was staying in this shelter. So in this shelter, I was the only young dude in there. I was like 22 years old at the time. So I'm like 22, young, fresh, you know. And I'm the youngest guy in there, and she's a young girl coming up there. And they were like trying to play matchmaker and put me and her together. So they made lies and said that I wanted to holler at her, and that was a lie. I'm a spiritual person, like how I am now. I was like that then. I was spiritual. I was a young prophet. So I was very, very spiritual. That's why he had no problem with introducing me to his daughter. So me and her started talking over the phone. Then we started hanging out. Remind you, I'm already working. I'm working. So it's not like it ain't a come up with me and her. I'm working. At that time, I was working at a all-you-can-eat buffet. You know, I'm like 22 years old working at an all-you-can-eat buffet down in Florida. That's a nice little country story. So that's when I met her. That's what I was doing when she came along, and so me and her talked because her dad hooked it up. He found out he heard the lies in the shelter that I wanted to talk to her. So he pulled up one day in the van, and I'm standing outside, you know, waiting for him to pull up, and he was like, I heard you want to talk to my daughter. This is very intimidating, right? A man tell you, I heard you want to talk to my daughter, and it's not true. So I'm puzzled at what I'm hearing, like, cause I know I didn't ask to talk to his daughter. He was like, I'll hook it up tonight. That's what he said. So I'm like, okay, I'm a man. I'm a man, you know. So I started talking to her and everything, and we liked each other. You know what I'm saying? We liked each other instantly, and we started hanging out, you know, eating together. We used to love to eat Subway together. So we'd get sandwiches and go sit by the water in Florida. It's like, it's water everywhere. So there was this canal. You might not know what a canal is. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't been in Florida, in the South, you know, this was a canal with real alligators in it. It's me, I'm from North Carolina. We don't got alligators in North Carolina. So when I first went down there by that canal, I thought I'm gonna swim in this water, because we used to swim in the water we fish in where I come from in the South. We fish and swim in the same water. That's how we would gather like that. We get over there and swim in that water. I told somebody I was gonna swim in that water. They said, "Boy, you can't swim in that water. That's alligator water." And this dude in Florida taught me how to find a alligator. And you see it like a little dark skim on the top of the water. That's how it looks, like a little skim. He said, "You see that right there? The little skim on there?" He said, "That's an alligator right there." I learned how to find, being with those Floridians, now I can spot an alligator. How they sit on top of the water. It looked like a little dark skim on top of the water. You wouldn't even know it would. You wouldn't even know it if you haven't been trained by somebody to see it. You wouldn't even know it. You would overlook it. You would think it was like a shimmer on top of the water. You wouldn't even think twice about it. But your eye catch it once somebody done told you, you know. So that's the water we used to chill at, because it was still beautiful. You could fish in the water too, right? So there was like these grapefruit trees all around. It was these grapefruit trees everywhere. And we used to knock down grapefruit and eat it. It was like we had our own little garden to get to know each other. It was right down the street from where I lived, where we met each other. So it was in the same neighborhood. So we would go through the neighborhood and go to this canal. They had a basketball court down there, everything. So it was like a little park, and it was like a veterans park connected to it, like for veteran military. And they had like tanks. They got tanks and helicopters, and so it was like it was always this nice vibe down there, you know, because of that veteran park and the canal water and everything, and these grapefruit, fresh fruit from coming off the tree. That's Florida for you right there. So that's how we first met, just eating Subway by the canal. We kept doing that, and then she wanted me to move in. She wanted me to move in with her dad, and I'm like, I think I was hesitant about that whole thought. You know what I'm saying? But she talked her dad into it. Remind you, me and her are not married, but she wanted me to move in. So she talked her dad into letting me move in. And he was cool, because I had already met him and everything. And remind you, he's veteran military, so he already got a good judge of character. So he ain't even hesitate. He was like, "You can move in or whatever." So I'm like, cool. I moved in, but I wasn't really bothered by being there. But she made it seem like I was. She was talking about, "Oh, he's oppressed being in that shelter." But I moved in, and me being the real Christian I am, I couldn't be in that house with her and not be married, because me and her eventually I'm gonna have sex with this woman. So we got married behind her father's back once I moved in. Like Selena and Chris Perez in the movie, like Selena the musician, like we got married and her dad didn't know. Because if we had told him, he would have said, "Nah, y'all need to wait." He just wanted her to see what it was to be with a dude. You know what I'm saying? From day to day, I kind of think it was, and he was military, so he was cultured. So what I think it was he wanted her, because he was trying to make up for lost time too. So he wanted to have her around a little longer. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that in a negative way, respectfully. You know, she had been with her mother in Georgia for a lot of her young years. So he was making up for lost time, and he didn't want to just leave. He didn't want her to just leave. So he was gonna let me live there and be with his daughter. That's how it was. But remind you, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't party. I'm a total Christian man, right? And based on that, he was actually smoking at the time. You know, her dad used to smoke cigarettes at the time, but I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't smoking. I wasn't drinking or nothing at all. None. No mess ups. No slip ups. No thinking about it. Straight Christian. So, but I couldn't. Me being with a woman, I can't stay with no woman and me and her be together and and you know what I'm saying, and me and her all close together and everything, and me and her. And I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was like, we gotta get married. We gotta get married. You know, we gotta get married. So we got married behind her dad's back, and he was like, I could have kicked both of y'all out. He said, I could have kicked both of y'all out. You know what I'm saying? But he was pretty cool. That's all he said, really. He was pretty cool, man, because, but he knew my character. He was like, once we started sleeping in the same bed, we just did stuff. That's how you know we was young. Like stuff he was going to eventually find out, but we didn't care. I mean, or you just didn't really think about it being young. Because I was only 22 when I got married. Just like the beautiful ones always do. The most beautiful people always get married young. Because somebody going to want to take you. Somebody going to want you off the market. Somebody going to want to marry you. That's the first thing I tell somebody that's beautiful. You know, don't get married young. Somebody's always going to want to marry you. You know, like Marilyn Monroe. She got married when she was, what, 16? Yeah. That's the child marriage for you right there. Marilyn Monroe was 16. Okay? Okay, so I got married when I was young too. 7 years older than Marilyn Monroe. I was 22 and I got married when I got married. Another fun fact, me and Marilyn Monroe, our birthdays are side by side. I'm born May 31st, she's born June 1st. So, yeah. So, I got married when I was like 22. And people don't tell you that it's not about love and sex. It's a responsibility. You're responsible for this person emotionally, mentally, and you have to make sure you're not damaging this person. Whether you're trying to or not, you have to make sure you're not damaging this person, right? It's that too. And you gotta make sure your karma, you want your karma to be good, you know, you gotta make sure you're not damaging this person or something like that, or messing over this person, just messing over a human being. So you can't just marry somebody and then just mess over somebody. You know, you gotta know what you're doing. And my thing is this: if you get married while you're young, you don't know what type of person you really want until you get older. Now I know what type of woman I like. You know, but back then you ain't gonna know. You're gonna go with the first thing smoking. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go with the first hot thing you see. That's what's gonna happen. And if you're real good looking, you're gonna get something that's gonna attract your attention when you're young. And some woman that's gonna get your attention. However she gotta do it, she gonna get your attention. And she gonna be aggressive, and y'all gonna get married or have kids. So I got married behind her father's back, but he knew my credibility as a Christian. This is a veteran military man, right? He didn't even ask me a question or anything. He said, "When did y'all get married?" Because he knew if I was sleeping in that room with her, how I talk, the Christian man that I am, he knew I was married to her. Mind you, I didn't know this man a long time, but he was veteran military. He's a good judge of character. So he already knew I married her. He said, "When did y'all get married?" He just stepped to me and asked me, "When did y'all get married?" And I told him. You know, he said I could have kicked both of y'all out. But it was all love. It was no animosity. It was nothing going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, me and him became the best of friends and everything. And then I guess he probably looked at it and thought about it. He was honorable enough to marry my daughter instead of just having sex with her and putting kids in her and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think
a person that's done been in the military, I think he had time to think, and he thought about it. Yeah, that's the honorable thing to do. That's the honorable thing to do. So that's what I did. I married her. That's what I did. And like I said, we had a kid. We both was working, but we was young. Like I was 22 years old. 22. I really, I was only an adult for 5 years. 18, 19, 20, 21. I was only an adult, a man for 5 years. I was young. And I look young too. I looked younger. So I might have looked like 19. But we both were young. That's facts. But we did manage to get 2 apartments together. And that was the structure. That was us getting out her father's house, getting 2 apartments together. But once it didn't work out, that second apartment, that's all I needed to know, man. I that was it for me. That was it. Because if a newborn baby can't keep you in the house and can't keep you stable, then something wasn't right. Her mental health wasn't right. Like last time I talked to her, she said she was getting a crazy check from her for her mental health. You know what I'm saying? So that was closure to me for unanswered questions, like about her behavior and things like that. Like just leaving my son, me and my son, like she didn't care about nothing, not even him. So it was like, no. I couldn't do it anymore. I didn't want to try anymore. But I still went back down there and we had sex after our marriage. After we divorced, we still had sex, but that was her. Because I had a girlfriend at the time. And my girlfriend was so good to me, she paid for a whole trip for me to go see my son and my wife. And when I went down there, she was like, "You gonna have sex with your wife?" I'm like, "What? No. This is my girlfriend telling me this." She done paid for a whole trip, like $1,000 something for a trip for me to go see my son. That's how good she was. That I will give her credit for. Even though me and her didn't get married, she really cared about my life. She really cared about things that I needed to do in my life, not just sex. You know what I'm saying? So she paid for a whole trip for me to go down there to Tampa and to see my son for his birthday. So I went down there for his birthday one year and bought him toys, went to Walmart, bought him toys. I had cash, I had what I needed. She paid for the whole trip. I paid for my room, all that good stuff. And I did the birthday thing. We blowed up balloons. It was fun. I was lifting my son up, playing with him. You know what I'm saying? He was glad to see me, everything, and man, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful reunion between me and my wife and my child. And so we was in the motel room just chilling. And she just took off her pants, jumped in the bed. I'm like, okay. So we made love after the marriage. You know what I'm saying? That was sin. I would say that was sin because we wasn't married anymore, and I was with another woman. But my girlfriend knew I was gonna have sex with her. I ain't tried to though. It was all on her. She just took off her pants and jumped in the bed. I had no intentions of having sex with her. I promise you I didn't. I wasn't talking to her about it. I wasn't looking her up and down, nothing. I just did the real parent thing. Remind you, I already had a girlfriend that had money, was stable, everything. That part, I'm down there because my girlfriend paid for the whole trip. I'm down in another state. See, I live like that. I'm state to state. My girlfriend's in North Carolina. I'm down there with my ex-wife in the motel. My girlfriend done paid for the trip, everything. So I'm down there, and we wind up having sex. It was a great experience, you know what I'm saying? But she was still who she was. Perfect example. But before she left, or before I left, rather, she left abruptly, I don't know what we was talking about, but she just left. So I'm like, okay. She come back like 10 minutes later. Same behavior, like she was. The last time I saw her, she was still the same, bro. I don't even, like I said, half the times, I don't even know what it's about. I'm one of them dudes who had a drama woman. Yeah, like Marcus on Why Did I Get Married? That was me and her. I'm the laid back dude taking all this off a woman. I was like Marcus. That's real. For real. I was like Marcus, man. I was taking all this stuff, just crazy stuff, man. Like, for example, one time we was at church. I just asked a woman beside me for a pen because my wife didn't have a pen. Don't you know she left? She left me in church. She got up and left. I'm in church. I'm across town. Me and her share a car. So I gotta get up and see what's going on. I done left, man. She done got up and left. And the way she did it, you know, I think people seen that energy. Cause she was running and mad and everything. Walking away, they probably seen it. I'm sitting there probably shaking my head. Cause I just asked the girl for a pen. I wasn't even paying attention, I promise you. I wasn't paying attention to how she looked or nothing. I just said, yo, you got a pen? I'm writing out an offering, the tithes for the offering. Or whatever, right? Don't you know she got up and left me at church? We at church. This is when I was active in the church. This is when I had joined the church. With Donald Trump knows the woman, the pastor, my pastor that I used to be, the church I used to go to, she close to Donald Trump, Paula White and all that. That's what church I went to. So Paula White laid hands on me before, she done, like for spiritual reasons, for power to give you, to pray over you. Yeah, she actually laid hands on me before. So, at that church, it's a lot of famous people that came to that church. Like T.D. Jakes, I done seen T.D. Jakes. I done seen Kurt Franklin. Who else? Man, so many. I'm telling you, I can't even think about all of them, really. I can't think about all of them, really. I forgot. But yeah, Pastor Paula White laid hands on me before. I did feel something different, like me and my wife. And we joined the church and everything. So I was active, you know what I'm saying? We joined the church. People seen our face and everything like that, you know? And that's the last time I could say I was really like cordial with a church or open to going to a church, because it was not a religious church. So that's why I liked it. You know, they believed in prayer, worshiping God, praise, everything like that. But then the scandal happened about 2007? That's when it was hitting the paper in my city, in Tampa. When I was in Tampa, it was hitting the paper. It was all over. It was the headline for the whole paper, Tampa Tribune. It was the headlines. Like, I remember seeing that in my last apartment in Tampa. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just what it was, you know. And so that was the last church I went to. You know, so like I said, I joined the church, and even when my son was born, I would still go to church. When my wife stayed home, I'd take the car and go to church, everything. So that was the last time I was active in the church. So you can see we was a family that we went to church together, everything. This is on our own. You know what I'm saying? Having our own, no safety nets, not living with no parents, nothing like that. A real family unit. That's why I tell people I had a life. I really did. I really had a life. You know, and after that life that I had with my wife, I still took care of my responsibility when I could. You know what I'm saying? The last time I sent money to my son, this is a true story. This shows you where my heart was. Is that I took money. I found some money on the ground. I found money, a big wad of money. Somebody just dropped it. Broad daylight, not nighttime, nothing. Broad daylight. I seen a big wad of money just walking down the street. Cause I'm a country boy. I take walks, right? So I'm walking down the street. I see this big wad of money. Boom. I'm like, dang, man. Oh man. I think I turned back around. And I wrote her a letter telling her that I found that money and I sent some of that money to my son. So that shows you the proper closure from the last time I sent some money to him. I found money off the ground and I thought about him. I gave him money off the ground that I found. Now that's a person that wanted to take care of his responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so anyway, man, you know, like I said, I divorced her. She said she had something to do, that's why she didn't take the money. And she cut off communication between me and my son. Me and him was talking real good. But my mom used to promise him gifts, but my mom don't got the follow through, and my ex-wife is a no bullcrap policy, you know, kind of like me. And she knew that my mom was just saying, "Oh, I'm gonna send him a gift," but she could tell she wasn't really gonna do it. And my mom didn't. She didn't do it. She just kept talking about sending him a gift and sending him like this keyboard. And so my mom kept saying that over and over again. And I finally got to talk to my mom about that. She kept telling him, she kept telling my ex-wife she was gonna send something. So I finally got to talk to her and I was like, she shut down communication because you kept promising gifts and she didn't want him to be disappointed. So she shut it down. She shut down communication between me and my son because she thought I was gonna relay these gifts that we would send, but that wouldn't come, right? So what happened was she shut down me emailing him. She wouldn't let me email him. Me and him was talking good. I was telling him to obey his mother and obey your mom, trust in Jesus Christ. I was installing these things in my son. It was going real good. I was talking to him about the Lord, trusting your obey your mom. That's what I would tell him. Obey your mother. You know what I'm saying? Trust in Jesus Christ. You know, just talking through life. She cut it off for the holidays one year, right? So she cut it off for the holidays because my mom kept promising gifts. After that, I'm saying, so yo, when me and my son gonna talk again? Well, I don't know when and all of that. Yeah. I don't know when and all of this. Remind you, she done put me through hell already. I'm just glad to be done. I don't want no drama with this person. I don't divorce somebody that still have ongoing drama. So that's why me and her never had drama over the years. Because I'm not going to divorce you to still have drama. So I stayed away. I did what I had to do. I avoided drama like a divorced man supposed to do. I did what I had to do. I sent some money, but drama, I'm not going to do it with you. Once I divorced you, I am not going to have no own. Baby mama drama is one thing. An ex-wife, I am not going to divorce you to have more drama later. No. Ongoing drama? Nope, didn't have it. One thing I can say, after my divorce, no drama, buddy. No more drama in my life. like Mary J. Blige, no more drama in my life, buddy. That's real. I ain't divorced her to still have this ongoing drama. So anytime she presented a problem, I just backed off. If whatever she was talking about, once she said what she said, you know, I can't communicate. You know, she don't know when me and him be able to communicate again. I'm not gonna beg and cause drama like she wanted me to. That's what she wanted me to. She wanted me to be this angry dad on the other side, and it didn't happen. That's what probably surprised her the most about me. She thought I was gonna be this angry guy on the other side of the situation. on the other side of between me and her, my son, our son together. She thought I was gonna be an angry dad on the phone, call, what's going on? Nah, none of that. None of that. I took care of my responsibility. I sent money, cool as a fan. I can't even tell you no real significant arguments after the divorce. After the divorce, I don't remember no significant arguments. Nope. Because I wasn't having it. I was already mature enough to realize, no, I'm not gonna be having no drama after no relationship. After it's over, it's over. I ain't me. You ain't got no responsibility to me, and I ain't got no responsibility to you. And I ain't gonna divorce you to still have drama. Nope. So soon as she started tripping, guess what, buddy? Say no more. Say no more. Say no more. But see, I can say I handled her like a man, like a real man now, because she had mental problems. I had to bear all of that. And then her dad got to see it after me. Once she fought his wife, I know he know why I left. See, her dad got to see it too. Her mom being a woman, she already know. Women know women. You know, her dad seen it when she fought his wife, which was her stepmother, that he married. He had always been talking about remarrying, and he finally remarried. When I was in his house, he wasn't married. He was separated. He didn't even have a divorce. He didn't even have a divorce. He was separated from his first wife, but he was always talking about either getting back together with her. That's what we would pray about. You know how Christian brothers are. Like, we'll pray about him getting back with his wife or meeting somebody else. We was always talking about that. So once he got married, I was happy about that. I was happy about that because I knew that's what he was waiting for a long time. And for her to stand up in his house, and fight his wife, his new wife. Just look at it like that. This was his new wife. I know he was convinced of why I left, you know. I know he was convinced of that. You know what I'm saying? And but see, I didn't know no better. I didn't know. I couldn't sense no mental sickness. I couldn't look for it. You know, you just think that when you're young, this person's just drama. You know what I'm saying? You think this drama, but now I can kind of discern and say, okay, this person might be a little off, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, now I'm old enough to know, read between the lines, you know. But when you're young, you just think, your mind can't wrap around it, and you try to make sense of it, you know, and you just think this person just got drama. This person just drama. You know, that's all you're going to think. But it could be mental sickness, man, you know. So for me, that's what it was. You know, that was closure for me because all the time I invested in this person and everything like that, and going back and forth down to Florida to try to live with this person. And you think, if I would have did this, maybe if I would have did that, maybe if I would have did this, but you can't. It's when somebody's sick, you couldn't have made it right. It would have been something else. When somebody is sick, it would have been something else that would have tore y'all apart. It might have not been this. It would have been that. It would have been it would have been something. So that was closure for me when I found out that she was on a mental sickness check. She getting a check from the state. You know, I don't know about now, but she was living with a mother, getting a check from the state. So that's closure for me because that shows me what type of person she was. You know, and it would have been better if I was with somebody else. But I don't regret my son like most people. I don't regret my son. I never will. Even if I don't get to be with him again, I would never regret him coming into the world. You know what I'm saying? So he's 19 now as of this month. He turned 19 this month. And that tells you I still care because I know what age he is and everything like that. So my son is a grown man. This is why I tell my enemies and these gay people, you know, like, you're not a father. You don't have baby mama drama like I do. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what it is to be a married man and have these real stories and real pain. You know, you can go around being a teenager, having sex with other men all your life, acting like a teenager. You don't have no responsibilities like we do. Heterosexuals don't have no responsibilities. Homosexuals don't have no responsibilities. They don't, man. And it's not miss you with that. It's true. I'm talking about the average person. They don't know what it's like dealing with no woman. You hang out with women. You don't know what it's like to be with one. So you get to hang out with them. But live in the same house with a woman and deal with her emotions. It'll make a man out of you. That's what you need. That's what you need. It'll make a man out of you. 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 You know, when I became a man, when I got married, buddy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ain't not from the sex. Not from the sex. From the emotional responsibility you have with this person, how to handle this person. You know, this ain't an animal. You know what I'm saying? You gotta handle this person. And it's a real human being with their own feelings and their own way of thinking and everything. They ain't gonna think like you. You gotta live with this person. And this is a female, not another dude. Well, y'all can be homies as gay people, two gay dudes homies. Nah, you talking about women PMS and having a cycle. That part, that's 7 out. Messing with women living with a woman on her cycle, try that, buddy. Yeah. Oh, you got a tranny for a girlfriend? Oh, she ain't got no cycle, do she? Oh, so she ain't gonna be PMSing. Yeah. Yeah, you know, real men respect a man that's been with a woman. You don't know, buddy. No, you don't. No, you don't. One thing my mom said is true. Women are strange creatures. You ever heard that? And she's right. Women are strange creatures. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can't really understand all women that easy. No, you can't. And when you live with them, it's a whole different ball game, buddy. Oh yeah. And they all got their ways. They all got their little funny ways. You know what I mean? Every woman got their own set of funny ways that you're gonna have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? You just love them enough to deal with it. It's not a matter of if. It's just that you love them enough to take whatever you gotta take. You know what I'm saying? And we got stuff that women gotta take off of us too. But cause we could be a little heavy-handed as men, you know what I'm saying? A little heavy-handed about how we want things to go and everything. We stucking out how we want things to go. You know, but that's part of being a real man, you know? That's part of it. But see, my strong suit was I was a spiritual man. I can make things happen spiritually, and now y'all know that. You know, but she couldn't really see that because she wasn't that far along spiritually. You know, where you with a man that can manifest from the kingdom of God, you know, that's hard to find. Real manifestations, because when she had her child, our child, we had an apartment from day one. We wasn't in no motel for 2 months. We went straight to an apartment. Like in the USF area. If you're from Tampa, we was over there by the USF area. Right over there, man. Nice area, everything, man. Like, man. Totally dropped the ball, fumbled the whole situation. She taking her son back to infant baby to her dad's house. That's a curse. That's a generational curse. I don't even use that much. But when you follow through the same pattern as the other generations of broken homes, breaking down a home and everything, that's a generational curse, man. You falling behind the same thing that came from the other generations. But I couldn't do it with her, man. I can't be in drama. And one thing I made sure is that I wouldn't cause my son no drama or trauma. Neither one. He ain't never seen me argue with her. He ain't never seen me nothing. That was the whole thing why they took her child, took my son away the last time. She was doing all of that in front of the child. They took my child away. They took my son away from her. Right? And so every time she lost my son to the state, that bothered me a little bit, as you can imagine. That made people question me. Don't you know when they Googled my name, that stuff came up when she lost my son to the state the first time. So then if people Googled me, employers and stuff, don't you know, because these days that's what they're going to do. They're going to do a background check, right? Don't you know when I Googled myself, my name came up in that stuff, where it made it look like I neglected my son. He was in Texas with my wife, right? So I wasn't even there. I was in North Carolina. And technically, I think I was in LA when it happened. The first time. I think I was in LA, because once I got back from LA at the end of the year in 2014, she lost him in 2014. I was in California when all that happened. I had just settled back into North Carolina, and I just happened to be there. I could have not even been there. I just happened to be there, and she mailed me a letter from jail. She wrote me from jail. I think she spent more time in jail than I did. I went to juvenile hall, and I didn't stay in jail at all. I never stayed in jail at all. She did. I think she did more time than I did. She wrote me a letter from jail and everything. Threatening me, talking about you better take care of our son and all. I'm like, hold up. I wrote her a good letter. I made sure while she was sitting down in jail, I had her undivided attention. I gave her everything, buddy. Oh yeah. I told her everything in that letter, buddy. Sitting up here threatening me, and you the one ran off on me and your son. And our son. You ran off on us. Don't you dare try to tell me what I should be doing. When you didn't even take child support money. I told her everything. Yeah. That's right. See, I ain't never been no pushover by no stretch of the imagination. I ain't never let no woman run over me or nothing. I ain't waste no time, big baby. I give it 2 shots. We get 2 apartments together. It don't work out. That's it, buddy. That's all I got to listen. And it's you that's running off on top of that. That's over, buddy. See, some people stick together for the sake of the kids, and that can work in some situations. But I don't advise anybody to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because all you're gonna do, if it's a drama situation, all you're gonna do is bring drama and trauma to your children. It's better that you be separated, so that you can't be blamed. She can't blame me for 1% of trauma or drama that my son has been through. He seen that happening when he was a kid, crying. He was crying to get her to stop. That's trauma. And you see somebody fighting and violence and things like that, and he wasn't nothing but a kid. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? See, that's the kind of stuff that really, really stick in your head. You see violence and all of that. Come on, man. Yeah, man. So, you know, my son, she caused trauma and drama to my son. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got to see. That's why I stayed clean. Not one day of the year that I ever caused my son any trauma or drama. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I can say that. Listen, I take what come with it. You know what I'm saying? If it took me being absent a little bit, took me from being absent from the whole portrait, you know, of that situation with me and my son and everything, for me to not be there, I'd rather for him, in the circumstances where I'm in a whole nother state anyway, I'd rather for him to live a life free from conflict between parents. For him to even see that. I didn't want him to ever see me and her argue. Because we was already arguing already. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I thought, I don't want him to ever see me and her argue, ever. He never did. He never seen me and her argue, ever. So that's why he know me as the fun parent. My son say, Dad, I'm gonna come find you. My own son say he gonna come find me. So, you know, I named him and everything. I'm the one that named him. You know, I gave him his whole name, everything. He got my name, Marcello. You know what I'm saying? And I gave him an original name and his middle name. He probably liked that name the most. You know, I know these young women gonna like that name. The middle name I gave him. So, but as he get older, he will understand. You know, that's one thing men must understand about our children. You may feel that how things went and how bad it was, you know, you don't know how your son or children gonna think about it. But as they get older, the older they get, they gonna totally understand. And they gonna see you as you are, and they gonna see her as she is. They gonna see They're going to be able to see through all the lies and the deception. See, a parent can't hide but for so long. You know, once you get old enough and your eyes open, you're going to see everything for what it is. And they know that. They know sooner or later you're going to get old enough to see through why everything was the way it was and what it really was. That's all you got to do. Get old enough and you're going to balance it out. You're going to see where the mom went wrong, where the dad went wrong. You're going to see both. You're going to see both in the situation. That's why I listen. But for me personally, see, it's some things I know that only her dad would tell my son. Like my dad, like me putting myself on child support to take care of him. Only he gonna tell her that. She ain't gonna tell him that. She ain't gonna tell him that. Nah, she ain't gonna tell him the efforts I took. You feel me? She ain't gonna tell him that. No. So where he see, wow, she ain't take money while I was growing up, and he wanted to send money and she ain't take it. That's gonna change his whole opinion. Think about it. If you tell me that, I'm like, man, that's crazy. And then you're going to look at all the stuff you've seen she did, and it's going to add up. You're going to believe it. You're going to absolutely believe it. But you know, I can pull up records for it though. I can get records. I can have them send me the records on that. You know, so I can prove that definitely. You know, I can prove that definitely. You know, yeah. But see, I'm glad my story, see, this is what really men care about, you know, your kids, your wife, your ex-wife, all how you did things, you know what I'm saying? So I can say honestly, I put myself on child support. She didn't take the money. I sent money when I could, when I was working. You know what I'm saying? Now he's 19. It's a success for me too, because he's grown. It's no more. Now he can fend for himself. That's the main thing. He ain't got to depend on her. He ain't gonna get taken by the state no more and be somewhere he don't supposed to be, or with some other people or whatever. And you know, now he's his own man. He can take care of himself, and I'm pretty sure he's doing that based on all the stuff she's doing and she put him through. He probably started taking the initiative at a young age to start working for himself. You know, so you know, that's just where it's at, man. You know, see, I got them real stories. See, that's my real reason why I'm even here. If that didn't happen, if I was with the right kind of woman, I would have been married all my life. Cause I went back to her. I remember my girlfriend who saw how I interacted with my wife. She was like, "That's the stuff you see in the movies." Like, cause I left her and went back. And she was in Florida. I was in North Carolina. I went back to her a lot of times, a handful of times. I went back over and over again, from North Carolina to Florida, to North Carolina to Florida. That's a state trip. That's state to state, man. You know what I'm saying? But once you do it a handful of times and you can kind of get a feel, see, my intuition was telling me right, man. You know, once you know, having a child and having your own place and a decent place, that ain't enough. And y'all, you know what I'm saying, y'all young too? No, something's not right, bro. And then see, I found out that, like I said, she got some mental sickness problems, you know, that's what it was. You know, so, but that was closure for me, you know what I'm saying? Instead of, you know, trying to just understand all these different scenarios of what the situation was, you know, that was more the case, you know, person having mental sickness. See, in the black community, man, you know, we hide mental sickness, you know, we hide it, and the people you think is crazy is the ones that's healthy, you know, that talk, that act normal, that talk through their problems, things like I do. You know, we the ones that's really normal. People that sitting back quiet, suppressing their problems and pain, them the people that drive themselves crazy. You know why I don't have no stress? Because I get everything off my chest. You can use that for yourself. Why I'm never stressed is because I get everything off of my chest. Everything. I don't have no stress on my chest. I get it all off. See, it can work both ways. You can stress yourself out over problems, or you can talk your way out of it to where it's off of your chest and you express yourself, and you'll be a healthy person like that. You don't supposed to suppress your feelings, especially as a man. A man should never suppress his feelings. A woman shouldn't either, but being that a man don't halfway talk, in a relationship anyway, you shouldn't suppress your feelings. You shouldn't suppress how you feel. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let people know how you feel, because that's what they gonna remember and hold on to and understand about you. And if you don't have nobody understanding think about that. That's sad. Nobody don't understand you for how you feel. At least they know how you feel. So yeah. So you can see, I like the prophet. I've been through baby mama drama. That's why I stay to myself. Just like DMX say, I don't like drama, so I stay to myself. You know what I'm saying? You would think the soft dudes do it, but really the masculine dudes do it. Like, I don't like drama. You know what I'm saying? I stay to myself. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I enjoy my own company. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I carry myself. I don't want nobody in my life that can cause me any problems. You know what I'm saying? I can, like they say, you can do bad all by yourself. You know what I'm saying? I can do bad by myself. And that includes allowing anybody in your life. You can do bad by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So when you try to get with somebody, that's supposed to be an upgrade. That's supposed to be a level up. Not, I'm doing bad with somebody else. I can do bad by myself. When I get with somebody else, that's supposed to be a level up. We supposed to be having fun. We supposed to be making love. Making love and having fun. So when that stops being the objective, it's a lost cause anyway, bro. See, what happens is, man, a lot of times people wind up having nothing but love. It sounds good, but it's not. You gotta have more than love. You gotta have respect. You gotta have understanding. See, it's not as easy to be in a relationship as you might think it is. You gotta have respect, understanding. You gotta have patience. You can't kill this person. That's why some of these married men, we got the most patience in the world, man. I mean, to where we ain't kill the person. Because if you don't know, women will do stuff, cut you deep, buddy. If you ain't got no backbone, women will cut you deep, buddy. And listen, if you that type of person, got them ego and all that stuff, and you think you're the man, you'll wind up killing one of these women, man. Because they gonna crush your ego. If you want, them the main dudes who be killing the women. These dudes that got this image to uphold and whatever. And then a woman gonna be a woman, you know what I'm saying? She gonna hurt you. At some point, like Prince said, the beautiful ones hurt you every time, buddy. She gonna hurt you. It's how you deal with it. You gonna kill her? You gonna really kill this person? No. Will you think about it? That's a real man. But are you gonna risk your life for another person? No. You ain't gonna put your life in jeopardy for someone else, and you should have more self-respect than that. You ain't gonna put yourself in jail for somebody else. You don't let that be the end of the story like that. You outlive these women. That's how you win. See, that's what a real man gonna do. You gonna weather these women. You gonna outlive these women. Even when you make mistakes in everything in your life, at the end of the day, look where you at now. Look what you talking about now. See, I'm overcoming. I overcame. You see what I'm saying? So now I can sit back and have these stories while these lames is outside throwing all kind of psychological games, looking for flaws, doing crazy stuff. They ain't got nothing on me, bro. Only thing you learn, see, what you tried to sabotage is that I'm a real man. That's why they came up here and tried to throw witchcraft and all that. This is what I'm going through. And I'm a grown man. I'm a real man. I'm a papa. I explained that, right? That's why I carry weapons, you know what I'm saying, for people like them. So now you feel me why I do, right? Like, cause I'm a real man, bro. I took care of my son. I said, Cash, ain't no woman I know that's a minority, whether she be Hispanic, Latino, or African American, or any other various, that covers it. Hispanic, Latino, or African American is not gonna label me a nut when I took care of my son. I sent cash. I took care of my son. You know what I'm saying? So, can you imagine if a woman turned down the money? She turned down the money. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine it? She turned down money. And women are right downtown right now. What time is it? Oh, it's still just now 4. It's women all in the system trying to get bread off these dudes right now. Especially on the West Coast, it's still 1 o'clock. They trying to get bread off these dudes right now. They taking their baby daddy downtown right now trying to get bread off of him. Now imagine me putting myself on child support and willing to give her the money. I got a good job. I work at the hospital. I got 401k. You understand me? I had 401k. I can actually say I had benefits like that. 401k, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why that was the best job of my life. I was making money, everything, doing good, living life, doing swell. You know what I'm saying? Doing pretty good. Not a lot. You know, looking at the economy, looking at how things was at that time, inflation, everything, it worked for me. You know what I'm saying? I took care of myself. I ate good. I ate real good. As you can imagine, I ate good. I drank wine. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed myself. I drank, and you know, my grandmother just watched me and was like, she just wanted me to have somebody because I was working. I didn't care about no woman. I was working, making money, man, enjoying my life, man. That's all. I mean, I just stayed in the cut like that for a minute and just enjoyed money, just taking care of myself, you know? Enjoying that, you know, that aspect of life. I already had given myself to a woman so many times. After my divorce, when I got my best job working at the hospital, I just chilled back and drank wine. You know what I'm saying? On the weekend, I ain't even try to get with nobody. I just enjoyed my own company. Just sit back and drink wine and watch TV. I was loving it. I loved that. That was my little thing. I get my little DVDs at that time I was watching HBO. So I just have my little show I watch on HBO, drink my little wine, and chill back in the cut. And that was my weekend. I ain't trying to do nothing else extra, try to holler at nobody, try to go out here. You know what I'm saying? I just enjoy my own company. You know what I'm saying? Just chill, watch HBO on the weekend, drink my little wine. That's what I look forward to. Come back to work and do my thing. You know what I'm saying? That's when I was in the groove. See, once you can find that at some point in somebody's life, they was in the groove of working and functioning in society, back and forth to work, that tells you that's a healthy person. And that person is not a crippled person. Because people will paint you like you a cripple. And you gotta show them. This is why I take the time. I'm smart enough to switch subjects back to what I was talking about. But I think people need to know who you really are. They need to know how you function in society. You know what I'm saying? They need to know how you functioned in society. You know what I'm saying? I did everything everybody do. I've had apartments, more than one, when my name is on the lease and I'm the man of the house. I played that position. You know what I'm saying? I drove cars. You know, I'm not a cripple by any stretch of the imagination. You know what I mean? You know, and you have to say that because some people, you know, everybody got them aunties that don't drive cars, especially black people. Come on, keep it 100. You got an aunt in your family that ain't never had a driver's license. Keep it real. You got an uncle in your family that ain't never had a car, ain't never had a driver's license. You know what I'm saying? And if people see you like that, that's who they gonna think you are, like they family member, they aunt or they uncle that they never drove a car, ain't never had their own apartment, ain't never been responsible for someone else relationally, ain't never had no kids. You even find sometimes you got an aunt or uncle might not have no kids. You know, I got an uncle that ain't got no kids. That's how bad he was. That's how he was basically special need, basically. You know, but whatever the case may be, he ain't got no kids. You know what I'm saying? So when you see somebody function totally, man, then you have to learn that the type of advice or the coaching that you think that you need to give, that person is far further along than that. I'm further along than you sitting down telling me what I need to do in life. I just showed you. I done had a job. I done functioned. I done had apartments. I done drank wine on the weekend like everybody else. Working your little job and drink wine on the week. I know how everybody else do. You turn up on the weekend. Ain't nothing else to do. You live for the weekend. You live to get back to the weekend. You pamper yourself, treat yourself, get you some good food, order you some pizza, drink you some wine, and get back to work. I done that. So then when you coach me, if you call yourself coaching me, you gotta leave. You gotta start where I left off. Boom. That's it right there, ain't it? You gotta start where I left off. You can't try to come back and tell me about what it is to deal with a woman or to have a woman in life. I know all about that. You can't tell me what it is to have my own apartment and put the key in the door and that's my place. I know all about that. You don't need to tell me about driving a car. That's the more modern day of life. I know all about that. You know what I'm saying? And so then you can't give me those little one-on-one coachings where you think I'm a trifling man that don't understand what life is about. You know what I'm saying? Some people went through life and did what what they were supposed to do, and for whatever reason, people failed them. What do you tell people that were failed by other people when they played their position and now they don't care no more? Not that they suicidal, not that they depressed, because I don't get depressed. The reason why, because I lost family to suicide when I was young. I lost my cousin, which was like my big sister, to suicide. She killed herself and it just tore me apart. You know what I'm saying? So from that happening, from her killing herself, I never thought about it because of her. It was like, I'm not saying she saved my life from whenever I never thought about it, but I'm just saying her death, what it really did for me was that it safeguarded me from ever thinking about killing myself. That was my big cousin. She bought me Mario Brothers, and she was that type of cousin. I wanted something for like Mario. She go get it from the store. Like, I loved her after that. After she did that for me, man, as a kid, I loved her after that. But she was always cool, She had a cool boyfriend. He used to let me borrow his MC Hammer tape. She had a boyfriend, had the MC Hammer tape. So I used to always play my music loud. She was like, "Can you hear? Are you deaf?" She was just like a sister. "Are you deaf?" Coming in the room. She was like the sister I never really had, And so, you know how your sister gonna punchline in on you, you know what I'm saying? But that's the closest I got to it, like her, man. She come in my room, "Are you deaf?" So, that's what I remember. Those are the fine things I remember, man. Her buying me that Mario Brothers, man. Wow, man. It was the new one too, boy. Everybody, like, when the new Marios was coming out, man, after that, man, I loved her dearly, man. And she killed herself, man. And I had that emotional connection to her, and it tore me up so bad that my family didn't let me go to the funeral. They didn't let me go. It probably broke their heart too, because just to hear a child cry like that and mourn like that, it just made it worse. It made it worse. Now I'm older and I know that. It made it worse. So I was so broke, I was so destroyed that my family didn't even let me go to the funeral. That's how bad it was. That's how much I was crying. That's the first time I seen death where it hurt in my life. And then the family was in denial, so I really didn't, as a kid, didn't get straight answers on how she died until later. And they didn't want nobody to really say she killed herself, but she did. And you just wish you could take back the pressure, whatever it was that made her want to do that. Because when you're young, you don't know that life works in cycles. See, I'm old now. I know life works in cycles. So I know whatever I'm going through right now, I ain't going to be in this for so more long. I ain't going to be in this too much longer, no matter what it is, because either way it go, I'm going to pull myself out of it. Like this stuff in this building with these dumb niggas in here that's playing around me and playing psychological games, they don't know I will cut their head off, bruh. I used to carry a machete. I used to have a machete. That's literal. I will literally cut your head off. I used to carry a machete in New York. People seen me. I'm no plaything, bro. I bought a machete right here in New York. I hit you one time with a machete and I'll change your whole life. That's not a blade. That's not a kitchen knife. A machete is now you getting into weapons. You got to acknowledge that as a weapon. A deadly weapon. Because if I hit you one time with a machete, I'll change your whole fade, buddy. I'll give you a whole new haircut. I'll put a new part in your head. I'll give you a new part in your head, buddy. I'll put a new blend on your fade, buddy. I cut you. Listen, I get your edges good, buddy. I get your edges good with the machete. Like Trey said, yeah, cut me down so I can get some waves. Like he said on Boys in the Hood, Trey, when Lauren Fishburne would cut his hair, yeah, cut it down so I can give me some waves. Didn't he say something like that? I get you good, buddy. You should get some waves. I put some waves in the water. How about that? I put some waves in the water, buddy. I ain't playing no games with you. I got a reputation, buddy, not to uphold. Listen, I don't got a reputation to uphold. I'm not a child. Just go ask. Go ask people how I was walking around when I bought the machete. Go ask them. I hit you one time with a machete. I don't have to hit you over and over again. I hit you one time, and I learned how to wield it too. I know how to wield the machete. If I wield the machete at you one time, I guarantee you'll be saying, please. Please. That's the only thing gonna come out your mouth, man. It's gonna be a different kind of pain you never felt. A knife, everybody done felt sliced from a knife or poked by a knife. A machete, a heavy piece of steel, and if I wield that, because you can't wield a knife because it ain't long enough, right? You could put more strength behind a machete that you can't put behind a knife, buddy. I could wield that thing like a baseball bat. And just off the strength of that, the steel being wielded at a certain power, it's over. It don't even have to be sharp. If I wield a piece of steel at your head, buddy, listen, you will be saying, please. I took the time to go get a machete from the store here in New York and look people in my face. They look me in my face. No, I ain't playing no game. What you think I'm getting a machete for? Trees? Ain't no trees around here. Ain't no trees around New York. That's how you know who's serious, buddy. All you New Yorkers been around these machetes the whole time, man. Listen, as soon as I got up here and I seen what the game was, and they gonna throw the book at you, what you get a gun. Listen, first thing I'm gonna give me a machete. And then I walked around with it outside in my jeans and everything. Walked blocks and blocks, had me some drinks and walked around with my machete. I'm that type of dude, bro. Check yourself, buddy. Because I'm the type of dude that'll also chase you down. I can run. I guarantee I can outrun anybody in this building. When I went out for football, that's the only sport I really liked. Well, I like basketball. I can play basketball. But serious, I went after football. I was the third fastest runner in the whole team. No, you didn't hear me. I was the fastest runner in the whole, I was the third fastest runner in the whole team. When you got everybody going out for football, there's a whole team. All them dudes. I was the third fastest runner. No lie. I should have went out for track. I should have did that. I should have went out for track. That was my strong suit. Like a track runner. Like seriously, man. Like I always had a reputation for that. So if I want you, like, right, and you think you could get down those stairs in time, you won't. Not from me. I done it before. People were playing outside my apartment in Queens. I went downstairs before they could get down there. They couldn't even get where they needed to go. They was talking outside my apartment. I ran down there with my weapons, right? That's the dude, barefoot. I ran down there barefoot with my weapons, bro. I'm nothing to play with, man. Ask New York about me, man. I ran downstairs from my apartment barefoot, waiting for somebody that if they wanted to smoke, I had my weapons with me. I went and got me a machete, buddy. I don't play no games, man. I'm telling you, little dumb nigga, something. You think you harder than you is. I'll bash your head in, buddy. I'll bash your head in. You trying to go to hell from the building, I can do it for you. You got a death wish, I can be Dr. Death for you. I don't listen, I'm a soldier. This is who I am. What you see, what you get, bruh. Am I a Christian? I am. But I am a soldier as well. And in these times that we live in, people like them, see, they ain't think I heard them out there playing around, right? Buddy, listen, nothing don't get past me, bro. You ain't dealing with no idiot. You a dumb nigga used to other dumb niggas. That's your problem. You need to get around some smart people. You used to dumb niggas. Ain't got nothing on their mind. They thought patterns ain't nothing. I'll shred you to pieces, buddy. I'll set your little heart on fire, buddy. On the fires of hell. I'll send you to hell. Think it's a game and it's not, buddy. That's why these wars is popping off. Now you see the madman I am, buddy. I've been a married man with a child and everything. I could kill you and not blink, man. From all the stuff I've been through, I'm a real man, buddy. You a fag. You understand me? Stay in a fag's place. Okay? Stay in a fag's place. That's what's wrong with you fags. You think you trying to get reputation you can't get because you don't do what we do as real men. You ain't handle no women. Men gonna respect me. Men gonna respect me from all I've been through with these women. Off the strength of that, they gonna respect me. A real man ain't gotta hear nothing else. You ain't gotta hear nobody no street life. All you heard with me, with my wife, right? That's it. See, I can show you. That's what I try to tell you lame niggas. I can show you how I'm real without talking about street stuff. I ain't gotta talk about that. I can show you how I'm a real nigga from a marriage. From me taking care of my son and sending money when my wife didn't even take the money. I can show you how I'm a real nigga besides the street stuff. So by the time you play with me, listen, buddy, I have no problem telling you I cut your head clean off. That I have no problem because I feel like I feel like you an ignorant trash nigga anyway. I feel like it's no reason for you to be on earth anyway. I feel like I'm doing people a favor. So nobody else ain't got to deal with this. You think it's a game if you want to. It's not, buddy. A black man gonna respect my gangster. You know what I mean when I say it. Per se, you gonna respect my gangster when I tell you about my female, me being married, and my son and all of that, and moving and having these apartments with these women, and you think I'm gonna let a fag play with me? It ain't because of your sexuality. It's because of you don't live as a man. That for you to play with me, and no matter what you talking about my life, guess what, buddy? I done dealt with these real women like real men do. I done dealt with these real women like real men do, buddy. And you can't take that. You can't take the records. That's why it's all about who you are right now. I got numbers and records that can prove who I am, buddy. Go ask the state of Florida how I put myself on child support, buddy. They gonna respect me all day. That's immortal. I'm immortal. When it comes to the system, I'm immortal, buddy. From putting myself on child support and the woman didn't take it, that in that order like that, I'm an immortal, buddy, to them people. That's rare. And then don't take the money. That's what I'm talking about. And then what they don't know is I still sent money. That solidifies it, buddy. I'm an immortal. When it comes to real life, man, and what it consists of. And then you survived everything these lame niggas out here talk about on top of that? Man, listen, bro. It ain't that I can't take it. I don't have no tolerance for niggas like you. Because what you thought was, you didn't know I had the real stories just like the rest of these real niggas. They got children and got all of that. Now they see even the prophet got all the same stuff we dealt with. These women, all this stuff, baby mama drama, all this kind of stuff. Back and forth, she playing games. I've been through all of that, man. Without killing the woman. Going behind my back and going and talking to another dude. Oh, I went through that without killing the woman. Oh yeah, went and talked to some other dude behind my back while we married. While I'm living with her dad. How much trifling can you be? I'm at your dad's house while you going to see another dude. Not my dad. I can see it when you was at my dad's house. I'm at your dad's house where nowhere else to go because this ain't the state that I'm from. I'm at your dad's house while you going to see somebody else. Go through that, buddy. But she ain't have sex with the dude. Here's the punchline. Until after we got the divorce. After the divorce, she had sex with the dude. There was a problem in our relationship. Then she had sex with him. Guess what? She told me she had sex with him. And guess what? My closure was, it wasn't no good. She said it wasn't no good. She said the sex wasn't no good. I'm just saying, bro. So, man, I done been through all kind of stuff with the real ones, what the real champions go through, bro. Just keep that in mind, sucker. Keep that in mind. I go through the real hard knocks like these real champions do, bro. And listen, you don't want to see me no day of the week. I promise you on everything I love, bro. On everything I love. A faggot can't see me. And you thought you could, right? Because of my little situations in the past. You can't see me, bro. Now you know that. Now you know why. Because I got the real situations like any champion, like any real black man from America. This baby mama drama, these situations and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Come on, don't play with me, man. Don't play with, please stay out my way. Please stay out my way. You not built for my way, buddy. You ain't built for my way. You not. And that's how God looks at it. God is not letting you play with me. See, God know my whole story, my whole situation. You thought I was some little scrub little dude. You made me think